technical glitch earlier. So in the previous stream, you would have just seen white because we don't pander like Disney does. So we
Damn
went
you,
to
Kathleen Kennedy!
Oh,
This is
my-
all your fault. Kathleen Kennedy, you bitch! You caused this. You,
She made us all chicks, gay, and lame.
yeah. I mean, we're sorry that we refuse to conform and be chicks and be lame and gay.
That's right. We are not
Yep.
going to go down that road. We are all white. Even Zam and Jose, all white.
Yeah, if it's not white, it's not right.
That's right. Hey, before we get demonetized, let's crack on with the show. So,
Yeah.
yes, as we said. Anyway, welcome to the Friday stream. We are going to be starting with film and TV and then gaming for a change because the news is so effing depressing. I don't know how everyone else's rage and anxiety has been the last couple of weeks, but mine is just through the roof.
Likewise.
Just arguing with people over the events in Israel. And so today I just want to start with some lighter stuff.
Oh, well, hang on. Before we go any further, Panny, do you condemn Hamas?
Well, I mean, the thing of it is that when the actions of then and do you lot condemn Hamas? Silence, just silence means everything. That's corporation. You're all terrorists. I'm calling 911.
We'll no doubt discuss later the fact that even calling for peace gets you suspended from political parties.
Oh Lord!
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the democracy that we live in. But before we go down that road, we're going to talk our favorite. In fact, I'm going to go straight into the Echo trailer has dropped. And
yeah, you got the trailer up? I have, but I would like to see it again.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it as well. Jose, have you seen it?
No,
I've not
I
seen
was
this
going
either.
cold. Yeah.
Okay, let's put the trailer in.
So what is this exactly, Echo?
So Echo is just another MCU show for a pointless character from the Daredevil franchise.
All right.
She was actually we actually saw her in Hawkeye.
She was in Hawkeye.
She debuted in Hawkeye.
Yeah, deaf mute character with one leg. Poor thing.
But she can kick ass.
But she can break your ass. So I'm gonna put that on. Oh shit! Hang on. God damn it! Before I do that,
Did you watch Hawkeye by any chance, Trevor?
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay.
1 second, guys.
You've seen Hawkeye, haven't you, Jose?
Right, good. I can
No.
hear you.
I haven't seen
You've
it
seen
either.
Hawkeye?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You're
Well, look,
not
it's
missing a
Christmas time coming
goddamn
up.
thing.
Christmas time coming up is a good time to watch it because it's a seasonal
Okay.
show.
That's right, bro.
It's a
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Just play this. Got full screen. Hear it.
Yeah, we're good.
I see everything that you are. I always have.
Okay, so I recognize that as Kingpin.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Gotta say, he looks good as Kingpin.
Yeah, I like it.
He's a superb kingpin.
You have so much pain in you. You. So much rage. That you can't contain it. You and I are the same. So, who's the monster?
So there is that Hawkeye reference there you saw at the end of the trailer,
Okay.
but you have to watch Hawkeye to get it, you know. So, but
Okay.
I have to say, like,
this is not something I could just jump into. I'd actually have to watch other Marvel series to understand this.
I would recommend watching Hawkeye. I personally
Hawkeye.
would.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
And-
Like you said,
and like I said,
Christmas time is coming.
it's Christmas. It's a Christmas show as well, but a lot of people were shitting on this. I personally was curious to see what a show would be like having a deaf mute lead. That for me fascinated me, but I have to say that this trailer is a lot better than I expected. Personally, it's very gritty. It's not going with the bells and whistles that you expect from a Disney stuff. You know, it kind of reminded me of some of the stuff we would watch on Netflix regarding Daredevil and all of that. You know, just seeing Wilson Fisk wailing on that guy. That's the Kingpin I want. You know what I mean? That is the king, not the Kingpin. Well, I don't want to mention any more than that, but yeah, that's the Kingpin I fucking want. And I'm very curious about this show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looks a lot better than expected. It's actually the first, I can't believe that this is going to be the first TVMA for Disney Plus. So it's going to be mature.
Finally.
It's not PG-13, which is great. But then it pisses me off.
The kingpin of crime, absolutely, it should be TVMA.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But they wanted but with Daredevil,
one of my favorite
also
villains,
had Kingpin in it. Is going to be a fucking PG-13, which is ridiculous, and so was Blade the movie going to be a PG-13, which is fucking ridiculous.
Well, we don't know what going to happen to Daredevil now. Now they're reshooting.
Now that they're reshooting it, yeah,
yeah. So I'm hoping it kind of has more of the Netflix vibe. Because
I want Daredevil to be darker. I want it to be grittier. I don't want it to be Disney sunshine and rainbows like we've gotten with Marvel over the past couple of years.
It's kind of like how Arrow, for example, started like as a really mature show. You know, Arrow was killing people in that first season. Then afterwards, they toned it right down. You know, I would much prefer that Daredevil to go in the opposite direction, and it does get grittier and more violent.
Yeah.
Especially when you are dealing with villains like the Gladiator, Bullseye. You know.
Yeah. The Hand, if they have the Hand in this as well.
I heard Punisher might come in Daredevil as well, and that guy doesn't take prisoners. You know what I mean?
You can't have a PG-13 with a fucking Punisher in it.
Nope.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, this looks all right. I'm not. I'm still don't really care if that makes sense. I just don't care, even in the grand scheme of the MCU stuff. I don't care, but I hope it does well. You know what I mean? And the mature theme, and I hope they don't fucking use a mature theme. If this fails, that they don't say, "Oh, it's because it's TVMA." It's like, no, fuck you. This is what we want, and you're likely to get more curious eyes on the product because it is of mature theme as well. So I think that's a good thing that they've done that with this, but they need to do it with more things, and they need to do it with Daredevil.
Yeah, well, the trailer
more familiar, with more familiar stuff.
Yeah, Shredder, what did you say?
Well, as I said, the trailer looks decent. I would say watch the first couple of episodes and then make your judgment then.
It'll take a couple episodes before you know what kind of show it's going to be.
And they're dumping the whole thing in one go, so you can binge it. It's not
good.
Okay. And I think that's the right choice to make with characters, even with Wonder Man. So when they eventually bring out Wonder Man, even that should just be a whole series dump, because again, when we're entering the world of kind of B, C, D list characters now, episodically is not the best idea. So it'll be good with that. Whereas Daredevil, you can do it weekly because he's a popular character. But but this brings me on to the transition. See, this is called transitioning, and we are transitioning to where's that fucking article? Actually, I can bring the article up in the window, so I'll do that. So there was an article by Variety. It was quite interesting article regarding Disney and what's going on. And I keep pressing the wrong thing. There we go.
Is this anything to do with the rumor that they're planning to bring back legacy characters, so like Tony Stark?
There's a whole like report.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember
This one here. So, crisis at Marvel. Jonathan Majors backup plans. The Marvels reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. So, I am going to read the articles. Is it long?
Yes, it is.
Longish. Yes, it is long. But hey, we're not going anywhere. So let's see. Okay, so the past December, a group of Marvel creatives, including the studio chief Kevin Feige, assembled in Palm Springs for the studio's annual release. That would be that wasn't. That was a different one where he made that stupid claim during the strikes. That was just a billionaire's retreat, right? Most years, the vibe would have been confident, even cocky. Given how the premier super brand owned by Disney since 2009 has remade entertainment, blah blah blah. But this occasion, gathering Palm Springs, including skip all this fucking bollocks. I can't stand how articles just take milk everything.
Yep.
Well, yeah, when
Marvel
people
is
get paid by
truly-
the word.
What?
Yeah, well, when columns get paid by the word, you get pieces like this.
Yeah, can't fucking annoys
Really?
me.
Paid by the word.
Yeah, they get
Yep.
paid by the
Yeah.
word. Yeah. It's the same with like if you go to, though this one's not paid by the word, but when you look at recipes and they tell you your whole life story, and that's because of Google's analytics saying you have to have volume on the page. You can't just go straight to recipe because it won't get picked up by the fucking algorithm or some stupid shit like that. Anyway, so as the Gathering Pass Ring executive discussed backup plans, including pivoting to another comic book adversary like Doctor Doom, but making any shift would carry its own headaches. Majors was already a big presence in the MCU, including the scene-stealing antagonist in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's been positioned as the franchise's next big thing in this season of Loki, particularly in the finale, which airs November 9th and sets up. Okay, well, don't fucking spoil that for us. Marvel is truly fucked with the whole Kang angle, said one top deal maker who has seen the final Loki episode, and they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently because of the strikes. But I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. What recast? You fucking idiots!
Yeah,
Just recast him.
Yeah.
What?
All you
what?
need is a big black dude. That's it. That can act.
The guy, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who's playing Black Mantis in Aquaman, fucking cast him. He's a great actor. He has the same screen presence. Put him in the role. Aquaman is done after this. Black Mantis is done after Aquaman 2. So just fucking recast the role. Like, what is with these people? What do you mean?
The guy who played Bushmaster in Luke Cage would be a good choice for me.
Oh, the guy who played Bushmaster. Fuck, that guy's so versatile.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there is no writing yourself into a corner. You just get rid of Jonathan Majors, and as a nice fuck you to him, you recast the role. It's as simple as that.
If you could do it with fucking Aunt Viv dark and make her light, you could do that with anybody.
Well, they've done it with Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, they've done it with Ross. You know, what is wrong with these idiots?
I mean, they did it with the Hulk.
Yeah, they did it with the Hulk.
They did it with the Hulk twice.
They did it with Rhodey, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
They did it with Rhodey, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, they did it with Rhodey, exactly.
And various four characters as well, people don't really recognize. You know,
so fucking rigid.
Yeah, just get rid of Jonathan Majors. Let's be like, yo, dude, fuck you, haha, and then get rid of him, recast him, and move on.
Don't even have to do some stupid weird plot where his face gets changed and all this crap. It's just a new actor. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Anyway, moving on. Right.
Daniel Vance's comment is killing me. Recast Terrence.
Oh, I ain't got chats. Why ain't I got chats?
I could read you what he said.
Let's read them all, Jose.
He said, okay, first off, he likes the sound of the muffled sound for the character in Echo. Cheeto says Disney TVMA equals normal PG-13, which, Battlestar Galactica television reboot is back now that the strike is over. Recast Terrence Howard as Kang. Confuse the shit out of people. I am all for that idea. Yes. Yep. I actually
That's
wouldn't mind
genius.
that because Terrence Howard can play a dick really, really well. So
Well, that's because he's a dick.
yeah, he
Well,
would fit.
do you know how to really fuck with people?
Mm.
Do a recast so that the actor playing Kang changes each week. It alternates between Key and Peele.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep, my name is Dingle McCringleberry. I mean Kang. That's who I am. Yeah, Kang.
So like I heard things were looking good for Jonathan Majors, but there's no chance of him coming back. I heard things were looking pretty good for Jonathan Majors. Like I heard he was going to win his court appeal and stuff like that. No,
Nah, there's too much baggage now because there's a lot because even the Met Police have gotten involved now with complaints over here about him.
Oh, okay.
So,
in England, wow.
Yeah. So he's fucked.
Yeah, this is going to be much like Justin Roiland, for example. Justin Roiland couldn't go back to any of the shows he was involved with, even after the charges were dropped.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Jonathan Majors' career could be over for the time.
That's fine.
Anyway.
If he's an abusive arsehole, then that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. Marvel's so beyond the bad press for Majors, the brain trust at Marvel is also grappling with the November release of the Marvels, the sequel to blah blah blah. There is an unprecedented turn of fortune for a company that has enjoyed a nearly uninterrupted string of hits ever since it started independently producing movies with its 2008 Iron Man. That widely profitable run culminated in 2.8 billion success of Avengers Endgame, and high watermark for the studio. Has earned nearly 30 billion over 32 films. Jeez.
Blah 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 blah. This is all just buzzword bullshit.
Exactly. So replicating that front, however, the source of Marvel's current probably protect with mind, blah blah blah. According to the plan, there will be lapse. The superhero fair. I don't care. But the assuming tsunami of spandex proved to be too much of a good thing, and the demands of churning out so much programming taxed Marvel apparatus. Moreover, the need to tease out an interwoven storyline, ever so many disparate shows, movies, and platforms created a muddled narrative.
So basically what you're saying is you're fucking fatigued because you don't need to read this in so many fucking words. It's like, okay, we've gotten so much shit.
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of it's because they tried to intertwine everything together. It just got muddled.
Well, they're doing a bad job. They're doing a bad job of interweaving because there's still that. I mentioned this a million times before. There's still a giant fucking frozen space alien from Eternals that nobody else is fucking talking about, and it drives me fucking nuts.
Major's
fucking nuts.
Major's GF was recently arrested for domestic violence case. Ooh, okay. That's what Vance just said.
But here's the thing. Not every fucking storyline in the Marvel Universe needs to be interwoven.
Yeah, for real.
No doubt. But I do think that a giant frozen space alien sticking out of the earth would make conversation in other projects. Nobody even remotely talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, hey, motherfuckers, here I am.
I think that's coming up in Armor Wars. I think
Secret Invasion. It should have come up in Secret Invasion at some point.
Look, you can do series like Daredevil or The Punisher, which they focus on what's going on in New York or in other cities in the world. They're not concerned with what's going on with aliens.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that I'm saying that phenomenon should have been brought up at least somewhere else at some point. In my opinion, it's such a big deal. Yeah, I mean that this thing is sticking out the earth,
which is why the stupidest thing was setting the Eternals in a modern time when it should have been right in the past, and then the big giant arm sticking out. Nobody would have fucking known about it. It could have just been demolished by that time by the Eternals, as well. But setting it in the present was a big fuck up.
And they left it there, and
they left it there.
It's a big fuck up. And like Nick Fury's in fucking Sword. Like, motherfuckers in space, why can't you see this shit? Aren't you talking about this shit? Don't you want to bring up this shit at least once? When you just like anyway, Marvel's is coming out.
Let me please get through the article because there's a lot of stuff to go on about here. So the Marvels, which opens in theatre November 10th, will struggle to get the ball past the infield, baseball, at least by Marvel's outside standards. The movie, which cost $250 million and sees Brie Larson reprising her role, is tracking to open at 75 to 80 million, far below the 185 million Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness took in domestic debut, blah, blah, blah. Directed by Nia DaCosta, the Marvels unites Brie Larson with the heroes, but instead of seamlessly... Then eyebrows are raised when DaCosta began working on another film while the Marvels were still in production. The filmmaker moved to London earlier this year to begin preparing for her Tessa Thompson drama Heather. A representative, blah, blah, blah. If you're directing a $250 million movie, it's kind of weird for the director to leave with a few months to go, says a source familiar to the production.
I agree with.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But there must be trouble in paradise then behind the scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of studio interference does that. Directors are very, very, very temperamental and won't stand to shit, so they'll fucking leave if they have to. Right. The Marvels has seen its release date moved back twice. Once to swap out places with Quantumania, which was deemed, well, okay, yeah, fucking hell. I don't think that to. But Marvel's business, Kevin's Russo's genius has been in production. Fucking hell, right. Okay.
This isn't really telling us anything.
Not really, no. So Feige isn't the only person showing signs of strain. Marvel's entire VFX, including Starfalls and Vandals, struggle to keep pace with the never-ending stream. Well, this is why they are looking to unionize now, because they've been treated like shit and pushed to the brink by Disney.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the kind of crunch that we see in the video game industry.
Yeah, we're seeing that now. Yeah.
Yeah. You know. Okay, so God's sake, it's just a lot of babble. The year 2023 the cameras when saw the VFX studios who appeared before the Congressional Labor Caucus to testify about the studio's untenable deadlines and working conditions. The pay and long hours at Marvel were the reason we had to start our unionization process there. So it's quite interesting to see how there are still other areas of Hollywood that aren't unionized, which is shocking. So good for them for unionizing. Fuck Disney. Disney's top brass, including newly returned Bob Iger, was said to be apoplectic about the Marvel's VFX troubles 1 month after Quantumania premiered. The guillotine fell on Victoria Alonso, who oversaw the studio's physical production, post-production, VFX, and animation. While the reason cited for her abrupt firing was unauthorized role as an executive producer on the Oscar-nominated film Argentina, insiders say Disney were incensed that quality control on its Marvel production was plummeting, particularly on the ever-expanding TV front. Well, if you've got one person having to oversee everything,
he's going to get fatigued, motherfuckers.
Fucking hell, man. She could only do so much. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
The VFX logjam had been evident for some time. Well, yes, you remember that scene in Secret Invasion. Jesus. Okay, so for some reason, effects such as WandaVision and She-Hulk Attorney Lord inserted after the streaming debuts that Alonso was busy promoting her art projects. What, for fuck's sake, so much waffle. But some internal sources suggest Alonso was a scapegoat and point to the She-Hulk VFX issues as a symptom of deeper rot. Namely, a lack of oversight on the script development. In the original arc of She-Hulk, a flashback of star Tatiana Maslany's transformation into her Hulk character didn't take place until episode 8, the penultimate episode.
Oh, God.
Oh, don't remind me.
Yeah.
But after Marvel's brain trust watched footage, it realized the scene needed to happen in the pilot episode,
Of course,
so that audiences could see more of the character's backstory early. That meant that the VFX team was tasked with fixing the mess in post-production.
Mm-hmm.
Great. The so-called bad VFX we see because of half-baked scripts, says one person involved with She-Hulk. That is not Victoria, that is Kevin. And even before Kevin, those issues should be addressed in pre-production. So again, this falls down to the writer's strike as well. Like the way writers are treated, they have always have a history of being treated like second-class citizens and an afterthought in Hollywood, because arrogant, talentless studio executives Like, oh, don't worry, the director can fix it, and the director doesn't give a fuck about the writers either.
Yep.
So it's a shit show there, and this is the mess, and this has been predicted time and time again by us and by people in the industry saying that this is why the quality of shows has dipped so much. Whereas, like, I rewatch stuff from the 90s and the 80s, even bad action films. The scripts were so witty and charming and so like smartly written. By today's standard, it's like watching fucking TikTok influencers writing for Hollywood. That's how shit the quality control is. Anyway, so all the while, Marvel has been bleeding money in the single episode of She-Hulk, costing more than $25 million. Fucking
Jesus
hell.
God.
Dwarfing the budget of a... Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say fucking more than fucking Game of Thrones.
Literally.
Episode of that.
Literally says that right there.
Say what you like about that final season and the storytelling of it, but at least they got the visual effects. Did a decent job with the visual effects.
Yeah.
Disney are swimming in cash. I don't give a fuck how much they spend. It doesn't bother me. They got more money than God.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Let me see. What is this? So there are signs that the flood of product is leading people to tune out. I'm not prepared to call it permanent fall, but based on the numbers that go with Marvel's podcast, Marvel-based articles, friends who do Marvel-based video coverage, and all of the numbers significantly down. Says Joanna Robinson, co-author of New York Times seller. Oh, yes, she's brilliant. I want to get this book from MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, who's a writer and podcaster at The Ringer. The quality is suffering. In 2019, at the peak, if you put Marvel Studios in front of something, people are like, oh, the brand means quality. That association is no longer the case because there have been so many projects that have been half-baked and undercooked. So she was on Screen Crush as well. So the guy who runs Screen Crush did an interview with her, and I think there was a co-author as well to that book. And they've just been basically saying that even with the numbers being down on streaming, people's interest in general is waning because even videos that talk about MCU stuff is not getting views anymore, not the same amount of views.
You want to know why? Because Marvel's not cool anymore. People gravitate toward what's cool. Marvel was cool until No Way Home, and then after No Way Home, people started kind of dipping out.
Well, this is it. If the product is not good, people aren't interested in
people want more edgier stuff as well.
Yeah,
people want more edgier stuff as well. Like it's so bubblegum and same old. Like everything. Like all the shows feel like fucking Guardians of the Galaxy now, and it's just ridiculous. It's like would it be Thor? Would it be fucking Ant-Man? You know what I mean? Even the upcoming Marvels worries me. It feels like Guardians of the Galaxy too. You know what I mean? It's just like everything.
Yeah, it's all bubblegum and pop now. That's what I resonate with Marvel. It's like everything is all bubblegum, pop, colorful. Nothing is dark. Nothing is gritty. Nothing is like, oh shit, we got to see what the hell's going to happen next. Like, I can't wait to see this guy get revenge on this guy. Everything is too bright and colorful in the world.
Jose frozen?
I'm always frozen.
Oh,
you put it for fifth screen.
Yeah, when you get fifth screen, up the screen. You've also got to factor in as well, though, the law of diminishing returns. I mean, look at how well like first couple of Transformers movies, for example, as god awful as those movies were, they made bank. But then when you got to like the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the amount of money that they saw in return, started to drop quite heavily.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, look, and the thing with Transformers, much like Disney, is every film was the same.
Yep.
The same fucking story every time.
Yep.
And so when you go watch it, so like I knew, like I'll go watch a fucking Disney film, and I know it's literally by the numbers. It's like a WWE match under Vince. You could do it by the numbers,
what's going to happen.
The whole process. You know the jokes that are coming. You know the style of writing. And it's very rare that you get, because even when you rewatch Infinity War and Endgame, the difference between the two is quite amazing. Like Infinity War was a lot less jokey than Endgame was, and it's just like this world-ending events, and you're treating it like it's a fucking Disney show. It's like this is what people just got fed up with, and Thor was the fucking tipping point.
And not to mention too, it's too much too soon. Like it was like, okay, they had the good idea when they started. It was like, okay, we might make a movie every other year. All right, cool. And then eventually it got to be every single year, and then you're like, okay.
And it was
now
3
it's
a
like,
year.
yeah, now you're getting like 2 or 3 a year, and you're like, this is too much.
Yeah.
It's like how I equate it with wrestling. It was like we always demanded more because Raw wasn't just enough. Nitro wasn't just enough. So we got Thunder, then we got SmackDown, then we got Sunday Night Heat and all these shows. And then you're like, okay, it's too much. I can't watch this shit because it's too much to process.
Right. So this is the bit I want to get to here. But
Yeah.
before we do that, can somebody check the comments section if there's.
I got
one, I want to quickly say to William, by the way, regarding my space alien thing, William, like you did have films like 4 where he's supposed to be the guardian of Earth. 4 is, and he came to Earth a couple of times, went back and forth. Didn't see a fucking space alien sticking out the fucking sky. You know, you had Guardians of the Galaxy where Peter Quill comes back to Earth at the end. Didn't see a fucking space alien sticking out the sky. Stuff like this really fucking pisses me off. You know what I mean? There's no consistency right now. Everything in Marvel feels self-contained, and not enough of it feels like it feels connected, and it upsets me in that sense.
Right. Well,
All
again,
right.
I'm not entirely familiar with the Eternals, but when was it actually set in continuity with regard?
It was set just after Endgame.
Was it just
Yeah,
all right?
just
So it would have been between Endgame and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll
Peter
get to the
Quill
comments. I'll
Yeah.
get to the
Get
comments here.
Jose.
Okay, so Daniel Vance says the Eternals stuck in the Earth will be addressed in Armor Wars. It's made of adamantium, and everyone wants the resources. He also says Brie Larson's new show, Lessons in Chemistry, is a great show. It's a new show. He's really enjoying it. Tatiana Orphan Black just came back with new series, Orphan Black Echoes. He's enjoying that as well. And he says this, and I agree. The kids who grew up with Marvel are adults now. They grew up with Marvel and needed to grow along with them. I agree. It's also because, too, people are getting older. And as you get older, you know, your interests in things change, and Marvel's one of those things. It happens.
This is the thing. And this is the thing as well. Like when your product doesn't grow with the audience, it always fails. It happens every fucking time. And the other times when it does grow with the audience, then there's stupid factors like merchandise not selling enough. Case in point, Thundercats. Thundercats, when it rebooted in 2011, it was a much more mature product. In fact, it was 10 times better than the original product. Phenomenal storyline, completely changed the whole premise of it. And it was amazing, but they cancelled it because the merchandise wasn't selling enough. And they're sticking about with the timetable and all this kind of shit. And it was the same with Young Justice because merchandise wasn't selling enough. They cancelled it. But in general, your product, it needs to grow with the audience. And they just keep failing to do that. And that's what becomes frustrating. Instead of growing, it becomes more babyish, more childish, more stupid. Same with WWE, as it went from the fucking attitude era of TV 14 and all this kind of shit, and then went right back to cookie cutter bollocks.
Yep.
And when
you insult your audience's intelligence enough in anything, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling or movies or whatever. When you do that enough, like movie fans and wrestling fans can be the most loyal fans in the world until you slap them in the face, and then eventually people just leave. They turn it off. They walk away, and that's what's happening with Marvel. And I hate to say it. They deserve it.
Sorry, go on. Straight up.
I was going to say, case in point, Star Wars. I mean, look what happened with the prequels. Episodes 1 and 2. Yeah, they made a lot of money, but they were absolutely crap. Episode 3, when that came out, didn't make anywhere near the amount of money that the other two did.
Yeah. Because it was, and it's a bad product. Yeah. Like, people want to give Disney stuff flack, but I'm like, no, it started. People forget that people were ragging on George Lucas because of those prequels, and everyone conveniently forgets because, Kathleen Kennedy is now in the spotlight. But I was like, oh, George Lucas could take a lot of the blame as well because his mindset was just toys, merchandise. I'll stick a story in there.
Batman Forever.
Full of plot holes and inconsistencies.
And Batman and Robin, dude.
I don't know. I don't know what's in my throat, but Batman and Robin, toys.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, and the thing is, well, to remember, episode 1 and episode 2 were some of the laziest fucking filmmaking that had ever been done. I mean, it was green screen and just all pretty much the same camera shots over and over again.
Yeah. I know. I was at Ealing Studios when they were filming parts of episode 2.
Yeah.
And it was just like a little bit of prop at the front, and then it was just all blue or green screen. You know, it was lazy.
And again, it was just like over the shoulder camera shots every fucking time.
Yeah.
For me, it was bad directing because like George Lucas didn't direct a film since fucking A New Hope. He should have gotten people to direct the prequels, because at least he could have just been like a proper producer and told them the sort of like a vision that he wants. But he could have got, when you get wooden performances out of Samuel L. Jackson, you are a shit fucking director, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you mentioned A New Hope. Everybody forgets that A New Hope was a very fucking badly directed movie that was saved in post-production.
Yeah, by a new editor.
It was saved by the editor, which was that not his wife at the time?
Yes, it was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I just remember the editor saved it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
She
saved that film because it was a mess, and that's why he did the right thing with getting in Ivan Reitman and then the other guy for Return.
Yeah, the other guy. Why can't nobody remember his fucking name? I mean,
I always forget his name, but
yeah,
Ivan Reitman, and I love those 2 films. Oh, I love all 3 of them. I love the original trilogy. I just watch them back to back whenever they're on. Even the Ewoks.
Look, the only thing.
Richard Marquand was who it was.
Thank you, Richard Marquand.
The only thing I look retrospectively back with any sort of kindness towards the prequels is the originality of it, because they didn't try to rehash the original trilogy by making them into the prequels. In that sense, they were so different to the original trilogy. They were, and which is not what the sequels are at all. The sequels are pretty much the original trilogy, but worse. And
a carbon copy of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But the prequels were just, the premise was great, but it was just badly executed. And you should have had fucking Anakin turning to the dark side.
Episode
2. And then seeing seeing Jedi's getting slaughtered in episode 3. They said the shite that we got, and that's
Dark Side episode 2 and Vader in episode 3.
Yeah,
all it had to be was come to the dark side. We have cookies. You give them cookies, and then they fuck everything up. That's how it should have gone down.
You want the cookies? You want the cookies, Jack? I'll kill them kids.
You can tell they were winging it, because they brought back Darth Maul after it would be cut in half. And this is the thing, because a lot of people complain about all these Jedi being stabbed through the abdomen, and then they come back and Qui-Gon Jinn obviously died. I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, Darth Maul got cut in half. He got cut in fucking half. He's got no fucking testicles or asshole. Yeah, he's been cut in fucking half, and they bring him back. Nobody says shit.
Yeah,
I mean, you know why? Because he's fucking.
Qui-Gon's a bitch.
Yeah.
Down like a bitch.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Right, back to the article. As public criticism mounts, Feige is pulling the plug on scripts and projects that aren't working. Case in point, this is the doozy. The Blade reboot with Mahershala Ali signed on for the eponymous role of the vampire. Things look promising for 2023 release, but the project has gone through at least 5 writers.
It's going to fail. It's going to fail. It's going to fail.
Yeah, and one shut down 6 weeks before production. One person familiar with the script permutations says that the story at one point morphed into a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons.
Yeah. I heard about that. And,
Disney in a fucking nutshell. And
that
I'm sorry.
That's Kathleen Kennedy right there, written all over it.
There's Disney in a fucking nutshell. One of the biggest issues, and I know this borders on the territories of those other.
Yeah, they have every right to fucking complain about it in that particular sense.
When you're trying to target a different audience to what your original target audience was and who came up with the franchise, you're gonna fail. And not just that, because like they make the claim that there's 47% of people that enjoy the MCU films are women. Okay, why is that? Is it because it pandered to that audience, or is it because they liked it for what it fucking was?
Well, they like seeing all these men in their fucking tight lycra outfits with their fucking butt cheeks and muscles.
And
Yeah, I mean,
D said
maybe
it best.
maybe that's a discussion that we should actually have some women on to get their perspective of why they enjoyed this rather than.
I'd love to.
speculating.
I'd
Yeah.
fucking love to. But, you know, Zan keeps flashing his cock out and it scared them all away. God damn it, Zan.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll accept your apology. You're only human. But the issue is, it's like, look. So what? I'll give you a prime example. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious has a larger female audience, especially in the Western cinema, than it does male audience. And when I'd go to the cinema, I wouldn't go with my male friends. It was all my female friends that wanted to go and watch it, and that's who would go and watch. And it's a great like event. It was a nice event, a local event thing. We'd all take the piss in the cinema and all this kind of shit. But the majority of the women even in the cinema were women, or obviously people on a date. And why did they like the franchise? Fast cars, sweaty men, you know, and that kind of shit. Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, all this kind of shit. And that's why they liked it. Dwayne Johnson, all this kind of stuff. They didn't like it because it was suddenly changed to fucking the whole cast is female and the men are pushed to the side or made to look like complete dickheads. That's again, this kind of weird liberal assumption that you think, oh, well, we have a core female audience, we'll do this. Well, we had great female characters, Wanda, Scarlett, fucking amazing characters. And the stuff you've given us after that, just boring one-dimensional characters. It's just like you shot yourselves in the foot there. So I'm not surprised that they were going to do this with Blade.
I mean, it mentions like the next sentence after the one you finished on. Blade was relegated to the 4th lead.
Yeah, fourthly, and he was relegated to the 3rd lead in Blade Trinity. By the way, he was behind fucking.
Well, that's different.
Ryan Reynolds
that's because of Wesley Snipes' attitude. He had a shit attitude. He wasn't turning up for work. He kept clashing with the director. So that's different. That's why he got relegated there. But you don't have someone like Mahershala Ali and fucking relegate him behind somebody else. You don't push him to the side. Like they also did it with fucking Moon Knight, and they've done it with other characters. It's like, focus on the main character. If you want a woman center stage, create your She-Hulk.
No, I don't think they were like that with Moon Knight. I mean, they brought in his wife. I mean, she was
Layla, but Layla, the boring one-dimensional twat, replaced 2 better characters from the comic book in Frenchie and I forgot her name now. Is it Eliza? I think it's Eliza. Who are much more compelling characters. What we got instead was copy-paste Disney, and that's what frustrated me.
Also, like regarding the thing about women and stuff like that, what I have noticed over the years in social media is the women's first for 2 particular actors, as Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. They fucking go Niagara Falls over those motherfuckers like nobody's business. I've seen so many articles. I've seen various women comment about these guys, these particular men in particular. They love them. They fucking love them. You know what I mean? So there's no surprise. Chris Pratt as well, but Hemsworth in particular. I mean, he's a gorgeous looking man. You know what I mean? They really fucking love him. You know what I mean? You know, he's so popular. So
imagine your core audience for Thor being women, and then all of a sudden you replace Thor with fucking Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson instead.
I have no problem. I have no problem with expanding the film because these are characters from the comic books.
Oh, I mean, I have no problem like Tessa Thompson. I mean, I have no problem with Tessa Thompson or Natalie Portman.
The film itself was just shit. You know,
the film was shit, and Thor was again just like in Ragnarok, bumbling dude role.
It didn't do much justice to the comic book storyline. The comic book storyline was actually very, very good.
But there was 2 storylines in there that were butchered. And it was the I forget why do I forget the titles? God damn it! So obviously there was the Mighty Thor, which was the Jane's storyline, which was read the comic book; it's amazing. And the other one was
Thor the Unworthy. Was it Thor the Unworthy?
Was it that one? I think it was God Killer. All right, the one that had Gore gore in it.
Oh, right, yeah. I know what
Yeah,
one
yeah.
you're on about now.
Yeah. Unworthy ran parallel to Jane's Thor, which is also a really good storyline. But you put both of those, and this is what fucks me off with Waititi. He's butchered 4 good storylines. 4 good storylines in 2 films. They're fucking cunt. I still like his own work. I just don't like his Thor stuff. Because he butchered Ragnarok and he butchered fucking Planet Hulk. Though I can't really blame him too much for that one because
Planet
Thor,
Hulk?
yeah,
World
Planet
War
Hulk,
isn't it?
yeah.
Oh, in Ragnarok. In Ragnarok. Okay.
That's in Ragnarok. Planet Hulk is in
Okay.
Ragnarok. So with the Collector's brother again, I forget his name. He's not really the Collector's brothers in the Planet Hulk film. He's just a king of a planet, and he has gladiator style battles and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's character is the Collector's brother, yeah?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's character. Okay. Now, in the comic book, that's its own thing. It's separate from everything because what happens in the comic books is after Hulk loses his shit and destroys New York City, the Illuminati trap him in a ship and they send him off to a habitable planet, blah, 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 and all this kind of shit. But in Hulk's rage, smashes the ship and it crash lands on a different planet and he gets taken prisoner and all this kind of shit. Well, the best Hulk comic book ever written. It's incredible. And they put it in this because obviously they didn't have the rights to make Hulk solo film. They could have waited, but they put it in Ragnarok and they completely butchered it, and they completely butchered Ragnarok as well. So
only for you. Once again, it was a very popular film. You've got to take that into account, Ginger. I keep telling you this. Thing. You know, the majority of people like it.
Yeah,
you're the. Yeah,
I understand that, but when you're a comic book fan and you're seeing 2 amazing stories butchered in one film,
you get angry about that.
You get angry. That's why me and fucking Cheeto are upset, because we read the comic books and we see garbage being churned out instead, and it's just like, I'm all right to be pissed off, but I understand its popularity because
for me, generally, the four quadrilogy, apart from Ragnarok, have been quite shit. The first one was just an average film. The second one is forgettable. I thoroughly enjoyed Ragnarok, but it went in a different direction. And then fucking Taika Waititi fucking like the smell of his own farts and ruined it with fucking Love and Thunder. That's how I look at it personally.
No, I understand that. I like the first 2 Thor films. I really do, because Thor feels like Thor. But the other 2, I didn't like at all. And but I always concede the fact that I understand why Ragnarok was popular, and even in that, Loki was the fucking star of the show. Loki was incredible in that.
Tom Hiddleston is like the greatest shagger of all time.
Yeah, but fuck those films.
Before you continue with the article, though, Penny, we've got a couple of comments from Vance. He says the original writer of the Blade script responded to this article.
Go up. He wrote more, but you can read this if you want.
Yeah, I can't even see the comments on here. I don't know what's going
on.
He said that there's a reason 26-year-old woman married Chris Evans. He better be thanking Captain America, and Evans is 42.
Evans is 42, yeah.
And then you can go ahead and read what
he said, right. So Vance says the original writer of the Blade script responded to this article. I worked on a draft of this before the strike. Never saw a version where Blade was 4th lead or it was a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. But I suppose a lot could have happened since I had anything to do with it. He was in 99% of the scripts I was part of.
Oh, so it could be a lie.
So it could be that Variety is basically full of shit with this article.
Something like that. So it will trigger the fucking incels and neckbeards.
Yeah, incels.
Like this is the sort of shit they thrive upon. The quartering and stuff like that. Music to their ears because they can fucking make a million videos out of it.
Hollywood.
But you can also get the writer who could be lying as well. So no, what are you talking about? I wrote a fucking masterpiece.
Well, it depends. I mean, if the original writer is saying that he never saw a version of this and said that that Blade was a 4th lead, then I'd be more inclined to believe him than someone who's supposedly getting information from an insider.
Yeah, an intel insider. Hey,
I mean, Look, Captain. Maybe a Captain Marvel sequel. Well, the Marvels, I should say. Maybe that is not going to do as well as Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Remember, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a direct follow-on from Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it had that to write off the back of. I don't really know what do the Marvels have to write off the back of.
Marvel.
Ms. Marvel and Monica Rambeau obviously getting her powers from WandaVision. But you did see, if you watch Ms. Marvel, you do see Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel swapping places. And so there is something there because Captain Marvel went back to being Space Cop, which is what she does.
Okay.
But so her swapping places with Ms. Marvel shows that there is a connection. And Monica Rambeau obviously being like the niece of Carol Danvers, so to speak, because he's her best friend's daughter. She will have a part to play too. I mean, it's just like some sort of sisterly sort of connection going on there and shit like
There's
that.
a revenge
Yeah,
plot in there.
and look, I'm not asking you like what have the Marvels got to write off the back of the shit on it. It's more the fact that I went to see Spider-Man, I went to see Doctor Strange. I haven't seen anything connected to Captain Marvel or the Marvels, so I don't know what other movies that this would maybe be piggybacking off of, similar to, like I said, Doctor Strange leading off of
Maybe
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
A secret invasion as well, because Nick Fury went back to Sword at the end of that as well. After
I think they did mention that there might be something about Secret Invasion being spoken about in that film. Maybe
It'll be briefly, but they're not really going to acknowledge it because everybody, for the most part, fucking hated Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
The thing is, like, again, with the Marvels, like, I don't have an issue with that because, you know, I mean, Kamala just, again, she looks like she's the fucking star of that film. Like, her reactions in the trailer had me laughing and that. And I'm okay with it just being a big space battle. Like, do the Earth stuff briefly and then fuck off into space and do all the space stuff. But
I want it to be the woman's thing. Like, you know, people go on about women taking over shit. I want this to be that woman's thing. You know what I mean? I want it to be like,
this is going to be less.
Girls get it done. All of that. I want it to be that. You know
this is probably going to be much less in terms of pandering than, say, that girl power scene was in Avengers Endgame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, look, the connection here is, even if you read in the comics, is Monica Rambeau was the first female Captain Marvel in the comic books way back in the fucking 70s. So that's why you've got the trio of
Maria Rambeau or Monica.
No,
Maria, which is the mum.
Oh God, I can't remember now. But I think it's Monica Rambeau in the comic books as well, and all of that. So seeing them in, and look, the minute I saw space shit in there and like connection to the Kree and all that, I'm like, yes, I'm in. That's what I want to see. Like, I'm interested, you know. So I don't care if it's all women doing it. Like, I'm not fussed with that. It's when you're swapping out.
That's the premises anyway. It's been set up for a long time, so
yeah, exactly.
I have no problem with that at all. But you make a Blade film where Blade's the fourth lead and shit like that. But like I said, looking at that article at news,
it might be a lot of politics.
It's just there to stir up a lot of hate, in my opinion.
Vance says Multiverse of Madness also had Sam Raimi's name attached to it. That alone brought in a lot of viewers. Iman Vellani is a true fan of Marvel and Miss Marvel. She's even helping write the current comic run. Good for her.
Yeah, she was cosplaying as Ms. Marvel before she became Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, good for her. She's great.
I can see part of this article, which I know at some point has been addressed on the NerdTube, the Nerd Nation Facebook page, which was about the fact that supposedly they're looking at bringing back.
I'll get to that in a second. I just want to read this bit here, which so this part is true, which was Ahmed reports that Ali was ready to exit over script issues. Feige went back to the drawing board and hired Michael Green, Oscar-nominated writer for Logan, to start anew. Speculation around town is that the studio is looking to make a film now slated for 2025 on a budget less than 100 million. In fact, it's rumored to be 80 million. A deviation from Marvel's big spending strategy. Now, that's a good thing.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. When you work with a smaller budget, it means you have to run a tighter ship, a better run treadmill of movie making. This is always proven to be the fact. If you look at Deadpool had a budget of only 50 million, and look how fucking good that film is. And there is a lot of CGI in that film. the less you have to work with, the more you're going to make with it. And so I'm happier with it. In fact, a lot of Marvel films could do with having their budget shrunk because it means they can't rely on post-production too much and all this kind of shit. Don't know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. The Creator, that movie, it's called The Creator, with Denzel Washington's son, and that film apparently that film getting a lot of reviews, and they're saying the special effects in that film are so much better than some of the stuff you see in big budget blockbuster films, which are Star Wars, Marvel, stuff like that. And it's got like a budget of like 60 million or 90 million or something like that, which is like half the budget or quarter the budget of some of the other fucking films that have been coming out with better special effects. It can be done. You don't need to spend a king's ransom.
Yeah, even District 9, which is one of my all-time favorite films.
I love that film.
Silent films of all time. That had a $30 million budget. And they just gave it to the studio, gave it to the director because it was kind of like what's it called? Compensation for fucking up Halo, because it was meant to originally be the Halo film, but they made this, which is way better. And look at the masterpiece they made with that. So yeah, smaller budgets,
it's a great film,
are better. Shredder, sorry.
Well, it's not just that. You also have to take into consideration that a big name character like Spider-Man or Iron Man, Thor, etc. You can pump $100 million into that. They're recognized names. Blade is not exactly a mainstream Marvel character that most people would recognize. You've got people who will think back and they'll remember the Wesley Snipes movies, but there's a lot of people who just won't care for a character like Blade. He's not like a big time mainstream character. So there's also the risk in that regard that if you were to give them like $200 million to do this movie, it would flop spectacularly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, it's not even a Marvel movie, was Dredd.
What a film!
Yeah, Dredd was fucking excellent.
Dredd had a budget of $5 million and only made about 41 at the box office.
That's awesome, that film.
Yeah, it didn't make its money back. It flopped.
Yeah, flopped big time.
Yeah. But
I mean, they're even taking a risk. Was bad. They're even taking a risk though, giving this like $80 million.
Yeah. But
look, I'm not the biggest fan. Look, I admire Mahershala Ali as an actor, but I really would like maybe an unknown who's also a martial artist in this role. I just don't like the idea of some guy who can be 50 in a couple of years playing this role. He got given the role of Blade in 2019 when he wore that hat back in the day when they were talking about the future of the MCU, and Blade was supposed to be a Phase 4 fucking movie. That was 4 years ago. That film should be made by now. It should be made by now, and it isn't. And he's not getting any younger. So I personally don't want him to fucking be Blade. If he left the project, I wouldn't mind. If this project was never made, I wouldn't mind.
Just scrap the damn thing.
Honestly, well, again, I would have opted for the Black Mantis actor from Aquaman to play Blade instead. But just quickly, Jose, what about your thoughts on slashing budgets?
I'd like to see them actually do that because, if they slash the budget, that means they'd have to put passion into the product. You couldn't rely solely on posts and a lot of CGI and whatnot. You'd actually have to care about your sequences, your timing, your pacing, your dialogue, all this kind of shit. So I'd like to see Marvel just be like, or Disney just be like, all right, Marvel, you know what? We gave you the budget that we gave you. Now we're going to take it away from you, and you're going to have to work with what you got. And that's what I'd like to see happen.
Yeah. And here's the thing: if they're going to do movies with, lesser known characters, that's when you do have to, restrict the budget to like $40-50 million, and because it's your best hope of a return.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is it's the same. Like again, I've said before, Warner Brothers, if they wanted to make a DC property into like a very cheap but well-made movie, or even a TV series, they could easily do it with something like The Question.
Yeah.
Hush. I mean, Hush would be cool. Yeah.
Well, Hush was a Batman. There's a whole Batman.
Yeah, thing. Hush was a Batman story, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And they kind of teased that with the Batman movie, the one that Robert Pattinson did.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, which I wouldn't mind. I'd love to see that film on the big screen.
Vance says that if Marvel changes from Kang to Doom, they need to do something really meta, like something like Loki series changes the timeline to where Doom is now running shit. And I'm like, that may be their only way out of this.
Well,
I don't want that.
aren't they doing a Fantastic Four movie later in the year?
They are. Let me find out when Fantastic Four is even coming out. Give me a minute.
Okay, right. So I'll go back to.
We already know one character has been confirmed. It's the British actress who's in the Mission Impossible movies. The blonde girl.
Yeah,
she's going to be playing Sue Storm. It's a good choice in my opinion.
Has it been confirmed?
Yeah, she's been confirmed. But apart from that, everyone else hasn't been.
Fantastic Four. Oh, fuck. Okay, it's not in Phase 5, apparently.
No, I don't think so. It's not in there.
No,
but
it was supposed to be a Phase 4 movie, hence Fantastic Four Phase 4.
All right, well, Phase 6. As of this moment, well, take it with a grain of salt. May 2nd, 2025, given the strike, it could get fucking delayed. It's still in pre-production, mind you. So, again, take May 2nd, 2025 with a grain of salt for Fantastic Four.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Back to the article.
Mm-hmm.
With Iger publicly acknowledging the downside of Marvel TV diluted focus and attention, the keepers of the comical empire are considering some dramatic moves. Sources say they have been in talks to bring back the original gang for an Avengers movie. This would include reviving RDJ, Scarlett Johansson, both of them were killed off at Endgame. Spoilers. That shouldn't be a stumbling block. In comic books, beloved characters are often killed off only to be resurrected. Well, they've got time traveling now anyway, so to the multiverse. But the studio hasn't yet to commit to the idea. If it were able to bring those actors back, it would have come cheap.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it'll cost.
Can I go on an angry rant for a minute?
1 second.
All right.
No,
Why the fuck would you do this? Why? You earned Tony Stark's death. Captain America earned his fucking retirement. We don't want these motherfuckers coming back. There's a reason that they died. There's a reason that Scarlet died. Or Black Widow died. There's a reason Captain America is retired. There's a reason Tony Stark is dead. Is because we spent 11 fucking years building up to one of the greatest arcs of all time. And yet Marvel wants to recast these characters and bring Captain America and Iron Man and Black Widow back as if like nothing happened, like Kenny from fucking South Park. Why?
We haven't even had Sam Wilson's Captain America yet. Give the guy a fucking chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give him a fucking chance and see how that film goes. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just an idea that they're floating. Nothing's been confirmed, but I would say, don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it, because then we'll end up with the same shit that we do with Star Wars, and that was stuck in the Skywalker saga. And then what we're gonna do? Just keep having fucking Captain America, Iron Man, fucking Black Widow coming back every fucking time, just because you are too stupid to fucking move ideas forwards or bring in more interesting characters. You could have slowed the product down a bit and then just fucking say, okay, once the X-Men come out, then we can churn more product in, because within the world of the mutants, there are so many amazing fucking characters. Like, X-Men is like Marvel's biggest ever. It's the biggest selling comic book of all time. And within that universe, there are fucking literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of characters from across the spectrum that you could bring in and all have fucking amazing stories and great, just so much. There's so much to work with. But go on, Shredder.
Well, I wouldn't completely dismiss the idea. I mean, it depends on how it's done. Now, again, if they're just going to bring Tony Stark back from the dead, if they're just going to bring Black Widow back from the dead, if Captain America, if Steve Rogers is just going to return and take the shield back as Captain America, I'd be completely against that. Mm-hmm. If I don't know, Gamora is the example I keep thinking of. She died during Avengers Endgame, but they brought her back from another point in time, and that was
she died in Infinity War.
All right, sorry, it was Infinity War. But, well, again, she died in one of the Avengers movies. But they brought her back I think it was actually an Endgame that they brought her back.
Yeah, she came back.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Time
and
travel.
a big part of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and actually one of the better parts of the movie, was that Star-Lord had to reconcile with the fact that this version of Gamora was from a point in time she'd never met Peter Quill or the rest of the team. They had never fallen in love, and he had to learn to accept that and eventually move on. So again, I think a story probably could be done if they're bringing the characters back. Well, like for the example, Tony Stark and Black Widow, if they're bringing them back from another point in time, where before they've had any of these experiences, like they know nothing about Thanos, etc., then maybe that could work. It's something I wouldn't completely shit on entirely. I would wait until I, heard the concept or saw some of the writing.
If they were to bring it back, I reckon it will be through the multiverse and on Battle Planet, for example. So they come in to do the Secret Wars thing that they're going to do, and that's how they'll bring them back. Then if all the multiverses collide together, that's how you bring them back into the MCU. If that's how they're going to do it, that's how they do it. But I don't want that. If they show up, if they're part of Secret Wars, then that's fine. It makes sense being in there. But then I don't want a permanent return, because it means you're just going to keep relying on the old guard too much.
I don't think there would be a permanent return of Tony Stark, though, because aren't they planning to do an Ironheart movie?
TV show.
TV show.
TV show. TV show. Yeah, they were in the middle of filming that until the strike.
Yeah, if they do bring them back through the multiverse, I personally want them to be supporting roles.
Yeah, I don't want them starring.
So, Tony Stark. He was either arguably a joint main to playing a supporting role, depending on what the film may be, whether it be Captain America 3 or some of the Avenger movies. So that's as far as I would go with that. But even then, you have to do a whole sort of arc of these people coming back from alternative realities or whatever, and they're not the same person and all this sort of shit. And please, it's just too much.
It can be done. I don't want it, but if they're gonna do it, it has to be in Secret Wars. You can't do it before that.
Yeah, you can't do it before then. You got to bring them back in Secret Wars, and you have to do it oh shit, there's Steve. Oh shit, there's Tony. You can't just have them there
sell the film in the trailers.
Yeah,
that's how they're gonna sell the film.
Because Iron Man 3 was a fucking pile of shit, as far as I was concerned. I didn't think it was that good at all with what they did with
Shane Black.
No, but what they did with the Mandarin and stuff like that, and
Tony blowing up all the suits at the end.
Yeah, and Guy Pearce and having hardly no real War Machine who became Iron Patriot, which is a fucking disgrace. All of these things. It was a terrible movie. So he kind of got saved by being in the Avenger films personally. Iron Man did more than his own personal movie, so let's not forget that, because sometimes having your own individual film doesn't mean that things are going to get better.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal is Richard. What? No, mate, nobody's been confirmed.
They haven't said
Gyllenhaal.
I don't know what
Jake Gyllenhaal, was it you Mysterio?
Yeah, he was Mysterio, so he's not going to be. Oh, don't listen to Gary. He just picks up stuff from fuck knows where.
Yeah, this is a guy that would rather have Apocalypse come in and fuck everything up. We know, boss man. We know.
I think that's pretty much. Those are the main areas. I'm not going to fucking read the rest.
But as far as bringing people back, I'm like, okay, if you're going to do it, I agree. I mean, I don't want it per se, but if it's got to be done, it's in Secret Wars, and it's the only time I want them back. I don't want them coming back into the MCU for good. It's like, all right, cool, Tony. Hi, Cap. Hi, Black Widow. Nice to see you. Now fuck off. That's what I would rather have happen. You come in, you do what you need to do, and you go the fuck away.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Yep.
So that was the article. There was a lot of guff to get through. But I just say start focusing on the mutants and Fantastic Four now, and go from there rather than keep going back to the well. Let me see.
DC, give us a Detective Chimp movie.
Yeah, god damn it. give us, if Marvel can give us Hit Monkey, the animated show, which was crap, then you lot can give us Detective Chimp. Which is, if you take the initials of that, is DC. Oh, smart. Right. Anyway, speaking of Disney, again, their monopoly is going to grow even more because they're going to buy Comcast's Hulu stake for $8.6 billion. So
great, which means now I'm going to be paying. Which means now I'm going to be paying more for Hulu because fuck me. I guess that's how that goes.
Yeah.
If Hulu's getting bought out, fuck me.
Yeah. So
get yourself a VPN. And watch Disney Plus on UK, and that way you get all your Hulu shit on the UK Disney Plus.
Yeah, I might do it that way.
Or Yar Pirate Bay.
Yep.
Yar indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best option because the price. Like, I've got Disney Plus at the moment. And that's only because I've got it for $2.99 a month.
That's not bad.
Netflix upped up their fee too, hasn't they? What, $22.99 a month now?
Yeah, for the premium. For the premium,
yeah,
Netflix. It went up.
Yeah, Netflix continues to dig its fucking grave. And it's not that it's not making profit. It's not that it's that none of these are making enough for the fucking shareholders.
Yep.
And this is the fucking problem.
When you get a chance, YouTube, Comcast doesn't give a fuck about you, and it's pretty fucking accurate to what we have to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
We were coming from Twitch here, by the way. Why not a live action gargoyle?
That's been made. That is being made. That's
live action. I thought it was animated.
No, they've done a live action gargoyles.
No, they haven't done it. They're making one.
Oh, yeah.
Here's something interesting from Vance, by the way. Roddenberry's original 3-foot Enterprise model from 1979, found via eBay auction, was loaned out during production of TMP and never returned.
Sorry. Thank you very much, extraterrestrial Goth.
Yes.
Salutations to you too.
Salutations, extra. What was that
about? Yeah, apparently Gene Roddenberry's original 3-foot Enterprise model from 1979 was found via eBay auction. Was loaned out during production of the motion picture and was never returned.
Oh,
lovely.
Is it authentic though, or is there?
Yeah.
Is there authenticity? Because you have to have one of those like certification deals.
I'd be curious.
If you don't have one of those.
If that was real though, I'd be curious to know what the hell that went for.
Get a certificate of authentication.
A couple of 100,000, if not $1 million or so.
Yeah.
Because that
is, for sure.
That is mental.
It's over 40 years old now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. About 45 years old.
South Park. I've got here on the docket. If anyone didn't watch,
I did. Yep. It was fucking great. It was great. You guys, I'm having a nightmare. Yeah. I'm having a nightmare, you guys. I'm afraid that we're being replaced by women and minorities. Oh, Eric, everything is going to be fine. Just shut the fuck up. Everything will be okay.
Here's the thing. The episode.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? The episode was good, but what's actually been funnier are all the right-wing fucking chuds who don't get that they were the butt of the joke.
Yep.
That Cartman was literally a fucking stand-in for them. Cartman could have been Nerdrotic. He could have been that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He could have been the Quartering. He could have been heel versus babyface, aka fucking pronouns.
Pronouns.
You know, he could have been any of these fucking chuds because he literally in the episode apologizes to Kathleen Kennedy and says, "I'm sorry for using racism to push back at you."
And sending you those 10,000 letters. It was all him.
It was 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah. And I love that they made Kathleen Kennedy in one of the alternate universes literally the female version of Cartman. That was what killed me in this entire episode. I'm like, yes, they made a female Kathleen Kennedy that was just like Cartman.
When the waiter comes with her food and is like, the chef is a little confused by your order. You said you wanted the linguine, but to make it female, gay, and lame. What do you mean by that?
Oh, no,
that's exactly what I mean.
Put a chicken in it, make it gay and lame.
Put chicken in it, make it gay and lame. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
that is basically what every one of these right-wing fucking chuds views Kathleen Kennedy as. Like that, like she insists on putting women in everything, making them gay and lame to pander to women and minorities. You know,
and you want to know the funniest thing they did? They literally took a shit on the multiverse concept, and I fucking died because it was like South Park has been known to do this, where they do the multiverse thing and they shit on their own product.
Yeah,
it was so meta.
Yeah.
But again, it's been hilarious. Like all these guys, Nerdrotic, for example, made a video saying, you know, South Park destroys woke Disney, and not fucking realizing that they were literally making fun of him.
Yep.
Yeah,
the critical drinker was the same as well. But you know, like the times in the episode where somebody would mention like the black version, the black female version of Eric Cartman, saying this is Eric Cartman who's in their universe, and then people go, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was my favorite thing. I don't have a problem with that. Okay.
Yep.
Whatever.
Okay.
Oh, I was crying. That was so good.
Yeah.
My favorite
when Kyle was like, "Mom, you're not gonna believe this, but this is Eric Cartman." And
okay.
The black guy, like, okay.
Yep. My favorite fucking thing was like the fact that when they started doing all the references to Baldur's Gate 3 and the Black Cartman goes, my save data doesn't fucking carry over. Like I built this computer and had your mom pay for the internet for nothing. And I was like, yeah, that was fucking great.
Or the handymen who were effectively an allegory for Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of fixing shit, they're just obsessed with buying stuff and going to space.
Yep. Yeah. I made this space for you, Dan. Yep.
No, but also like regarding the handyman as well, it is a little bit of how us guys are in today's world where we can't do shit.
Nobody knows how to do shit anymore.
But I rely on my fucking handyman for everything, man. You know what I mean? So the bed behind me made by my handyman, my fucking room painted, all this shit, the table.
It's true because even like because I worked like I did building work and all this kind of stuff. So all of my friends were calling me to just like change light switches or put shelves up or help with their fucking rip down things and all this kind of shit. It's really funny because it's like you're trying to teach them how to do it themselves, and it's just not fucking registering. I'm like, boy.
And one of the most underrated bits was
my dad's generation. Sorry, my dad's generation. They repaired their own cars. They built their own homes. They fucking did everything.
Yep.
And like, it was. So good.
I like the scene of the reporter when the guy's standing in the bathtub. Tom, I'm standing in my bathtub and I'm waiting on the maintenance man to come by and fix my fucking tiles. And I'm like, yep. And then like they had the fucking scene of like everybody picketing, like they're offering their services, like they have to barter. Like, okay, I can't pay you, but like,
do you need a lawyer?
They had all effectively become the people who sit around Home Depot looking for day work.
Yeah.
they were offering all different kind of services, so legal advice, or in Randy's case, he was offering geology courses.
Yeah, that's all right. I've got an app for that.
I actually thought we were gonna see the guys from the episode where they talked about doing an essay, but
I thought that too. Yeah. I thought that too. Like, hey, yo, you guys got to get your essays together, and then and then Jimmy would have been like, man, I got another letter from my essay, back down like in Pueblo or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I'm glad. In a way, I'm kind of glad they didn't go that way. It was funny what they did instead. It was brilliant.
Oh yeah,
absolutely
great
brilliant.
Episode. And just again, lovely to see Kenny getting killed at the end. Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, you killed Kenny, you fat hoe!
Yeah.
And then it turned out it was all a fucking dream and like the Cartman version of Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. And the alien.
It was like that fucking episode from what was it, season 2? Or season 3, where like everybody's trapped in the bus, and they keep having stories where they wind up eating ice cream at the end, and it turned out Cartman was having a dream.
Yep.
And then he and his mother were eating Beatles for breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was eating Kyle, and he got revenge on Kyle. I'm like, yep. That would be something Cartman would do. Yeah.
And let me see. Anything. This year will mark the 30th anniversary of me getting the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
Not kidding.
Son of a bitch, Vance.
Yeah.
You
That
got
sucks,
the
dude.
USSS. Is it the Victory? Can't remember. What it's called.
SSS sounds very Nazi-ish.
Yeah. What was the name of the fucking G.I. Joe's goddamn fucking aircraft carrier?
I don't know.
I remember Boulder Hill. but
The
that's about
USS
it.
Chum Guzzler.
Yeah, that's it. The Chum Guzzler. Yeah. Oh, do you remember Boulder Hill? I love I've got all my Mars toys. They're up in the loft. Still got all of them. Boulder Hill as well.
Boy, his mask. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it was Mask. Yeah. But
I remember mine had Boulder Hill. That's why I remember it.
yeah, that was great. I've got a fuckload of GI Joes as well. But they're all everything's up in the loft. If it ain't new, it's up in the loft. Okay, so Ric Flair has signed a multi-year deal with AEW.
Oh man, Shredder and I are about to have some fun with this shit.
So
Boy,
Tony Khan, who chastises Vince McMahon for his own sexual indiscretions, hires a man on a multi-year deal with his own sexual indiscretions at greater volume than Vince McMahon. And the part of the deal was to sell his fucking Woo energy drink. Anyway,
energy
that's
drink.
my thoughts on that.
Yeah,
here's what
he's selling it for like $25 for a pack of 6.
Yep.
Fucking ridiculous.
And here's what's killing me. Here's what's killing me, okay? You ban a guy that did a racist fucking rant on tape and said some shit, and Tony Khan goes, all right, motherfucker, look, you're banned. And then like he's like, all right, we won't bring Ric Flair into AEW because of the plane ride from hell and all this other bullshit. And then Tony Khan's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and bring Ric Flair in anyway, despite knowing everything we fucking know about the guy. Smart move, Tony, you idiot.
Oh, USS
I don't think so.
Thank you.
I mean,
What?
I seriously hope that Flair is not being brought in for a match, because Flair has been saying that he wants to have another last match.
It gets worse. Because Shredder and I were talking about this before we switched to this one. I told Shredder that Ric Flair's doctor actually cleared Ric Flair to take bumps and get in the ring, and Shredder had that look on his face like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. He actually got cleared. Ric Flair's doctor cleared Ric Flair to get in the ring.
He got paid off.
Who the fuck is his doctor? Is it Nick Riviera from The Simpsons?
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Yes, you can do the wrestle.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I'm curious. You know, is he being hired to actually take bumps, or is he going to be brought in for like a managerial role?
I think he's going to turn on Sting in his last match.
I hope that there's no fucking way that Ric Flair gets in the ring, and I especially hope he's not actively involved in Sting's last match, because Sting has earned the right to go out with a fucking great match of some description. I mean, you know, even if it's, you know, you put in a couple guys like the Guns to bump around and feed for him, or you do something cinematic like the Boneyard match, give him the goddamn send-off he deserves. Yeah, give him the goddamn send-off he deserves, you know, like Undertaker managed to have. Mm-hmm. Ric Flair embarrassed himself with that last match. He passed out several times on the ring apron during that whole thing. You know, and he was in there with guys like Jeff Jarrett, who can still go, Jay Lethal, and Andrade. So, yeah, God, yeah, man, I don't understand how the fuck. I can understand having him in there until Sting's last match.
Yep.
If you're going to have him in for a deal, bring him in, you know, where he's going to even just show up in Sting's corner until his last match. But signing him to a multi-year deal?
Are you stupid? Yes.
It's stupid, it's hypocritical, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I joked, didn't I joke about it? I said when we were talking about who should be Sting's last match, it was like Ric Flair. Then they go fucking it was like, oh,
we put it out in the universe. I fucking hate ourselves for that.
Flair, meanwhile,
this is our fault, by the way. Tony Khan.
Flair, meanwhile, is on social media saying that he's interested in doing a match with MJF for the fucking AEW title.
Yeah, no, fuck off, you senile old cock swinger. You're not getting any of that shit. Fucking ridiculous.
And the thing we still do. We used to crap on WWE for bringing in legends the way they do it. Now Tony Khan is literally copying from Vince McMahon. and it's
Well,
just
yeah, I
like,
mean-
And
I
so is
find
Mar-
it
and
funny.
so is Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and even in AEW, we've got fucking Big Show again, like coming back
Yeah.
for another match.
Well,
It's like,
he said he's got like 2 years left before he's considering retiring.
he should have
and-
retired already.
Well, he's had major surgery on his what was it? Was it knee surgery he had?
Yeah, knees. Yeah,
Yeah,
His knee. You can
knees.
see when
Yeah.
he walks, his knees are buckling inwards because his upper body.
Look again, Paul White. I think is in still in good enough shape that hell he could put over somebody on his way out in AEW. He could put over
Wardlow.
somebody
yeah,
like
Hobbs.
Wardlow or Will
Wardlow,
Hobbs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even if you want to build somebody as like a giant killer.
Yep.
Have Ricky Starks beat him with some help from Big Bill.
Or
Yeah,
if you want to, or
Riho.
if you really want to bring in the numbers, here's what you do: you bring in the young lion Goldberg and have him come in and squash the Big Show in 2 minutes. Yep.
Does Big Show suffer from gigantism?
He did, but he got that corrected.
He got it.
Really?
Got it.
He
Yeah.
had the gland.
He got it
yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
he had
gland
surgery.
Yeah.
The reason why Andre couldn't
Didn't
was
they?
because technology wasn't invented at the time to where you could correct it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm happy
the guy,
to hear that.
I want to be perfectly clear. Like when Paul White was in WCW, he was one of my favorites. His athleticism is phenomenal. I always say he's one of the most brilliant athletic wrestlers for his size of all time because missile drop
Yeah.
kicks, flips, jumps to the outside, all this kind of shit he used to do in WCW. When he came to WWF, we barely got any of that. His whole run in WWF, I fucking hated with a passion. And I knew when he left to go there, I was like, this is a fucking bad idea.
I knew it was over.
Bury you.
I knew it was over when they had Austin beat him 3 weeks in. That was when
Yeah,
I knew Big
that's
Show was
it.
over.
Yeah.
Yep.
He came, it was buried, and that was it.
Yep.
Well, some person, the moment they changed gimmicks, they're just no longer what they once were. Like when fucking Scott Steiner became Big Papa Pump, that high flying Scott Steiner was gone.
Yeah, I
know.
I
I
love,
mean-
like the
But
Steiner
here's the-
Brothers are one of my favorite tag teams.
But here's the thing, though. What saved Steiner is the best worst guy on the mic of all time. I don't care what anyone says. Argue with your
Yeah.
mama. I would probably put Psycho Sid up there just to be nice. But Psycho Sid or Scott Steiner is the best worst on the mic. Point blank. Period.
Yeah, Steiner, his
Yeah.
promos were actually fucking enjoyable to listen to. Just even though he would go off on tangents or stuff he said wouldn't make sense, it was still entertaining to listen to because some of the stuff you didn't even know what he was going to say. WCW programming, he went off on fucking Ric Flair
Yep.
and buried him saying that he didn't bother tuning into WCW. He tuned into the WWF to watch Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he got that fucking promo live on Nitro.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
No, he's great in that regard, but I missed I loved it when they were the Steiner brothers and that. But fair enough, he took his own trajectory and he fucking ran with it. Yeah, what a legends. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so what was we talking about? AEW
AEW signing Flair.
Big Show.
I don't want it. I personally don't want Flair in AEW. I don't even want him there. I'm like,
Fuck
no.
that guy.
And,
Yeah,
and if Tony wants an idea of how how badly things can go with Flair, look at what happened when he signed with TNA. Look at what happened when he signed with Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Although he had the fantastic back and forth with Jay Lethal, that was a good run.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was
but financially he fucked over both those companies. I mean, he was
Yes,
in
he did.
England. He insisted on getting his draw because he
Yeah.
ran up quite a massive bar tab in one occasion. And when it came to Ring of Honor, he fucked them over financially. And he put the NWA belt up as collateral, despite the fact that he didn't have any right to it.
Didn't he no-show Ring of Honor, if I remember right? Wasn't that one of
did.
the stories? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And there were a lot of independent promoters. He put up the NWA World Title as collateral again, despite the fact that he really had no right to do so, and he owed so much money to so many people.
Yeah.
Conrad Thompson, I believe, was the one that paid off a lot of Flair's debts. And he actually got the original NWA belt as a result.
No, thank you, Zam. I was just going to mention this, but yeah.
Steiner brothers winning the tech. Yeah, good for them. Yeah, they
Well, the
were
tag team
for me.
final is the Steiners, Edge, and Christian. So just to point that out,
I couldn't get enough of
tag
this.
team tournament.
Back in the day, it was mainly because of Scott Steiner more than anything. Because I never seen a guy so, so jacked, to be so agile as he was. It was incredible. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I just again, that was just such a fucking great tag team. Such a great tag team. The Hardy Boys were. Is it the Steiners versus the Hardy Boys? That's the final, isn't it?
Edge and Christian.
No, Steiner's Edge and Christian. Oh no, it's Steiner's Hardy Boys.
No, I thought
Steiner's
so.
Edge
Yeah,
and
it's
Christian
the
was the
Hardy
semis.
Boys.
That's why I'm getting
The
confused.
Hardy Boys.
Steiner's
The
Edge and
Hardys-
Christian was the semis.
Yep.
Yeah, as much
Yeah,
as I love the Hardys, I prefer the
I'm
Steiner
surprised.
brothers.
I'm surprised that some of the teams got through. I mean, I honestly did not think the Hardy Boys would win over against the Hart Foundation.
Yeah,
But
that
you have to
one
remember
Recency
you have to
bias.
remember the generation that we're in. We're in the generation
Yeah,
with
I
the flips,
suppose.
kicks, and whoopity doos. Yep.
The
Yeah.
Hart Foundation, even though they were a good tag team, they weren't together as long as the Hardys. And they would get back together more often. The Hardys, even though they'll break up, they'll come back together all the time.
Yeah.
Once Bret Hart went solo, I mean, other than that massive Hart Foundation reunion where they got Davey Boy and Brian Pillman and Owen and Neidhart, they were done. So they were only around for what, 4 or 5 years, and they were done after that.
6 years,
Oh, there
1985
you
to
go.
1991.
Yeah, the Hart Foundation, they had some success.
But I mean, the Hart Foundation were the pinnacle of tag team wrestling in the 80s, at least in the WWF.
Yeah, they were.
Aren't they the ones who FTR kind of modeled themselves off of?
Kind
No,
of.
the FTR models himself off of the Midnight Express.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And the most famous Hart Foundation story is them taking Vince's head off. A local bar
Yeah.
somewhere. Yep. They hit the heart attack on
Wasn't it,
Vince.
okay, they did the heart attack on Vince. I thought that was Legion of Doom. They did their move on Vince.
Hawk dared Brett and Jim to do their finish, and that's where it came from. They were like, "Hey, yo, do your finish on Vince," and Vince was like, "Okay, we'll allow it."
Supposedly, Vince had wanted to take the Doomsday device, but Hawk suggested he take the heart attack instead.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that finishing move.
Yeah.
Yep. And I took
Cool.
Vince's head off. And, speaking of wrestling, Crown Jewels tomorrow. We will be doing a watch along for those interested.
Yeah. Shredder,
okay,
you joining in on
moving
that?
What time is it? Because
have no
I
idea.
might be at work.
It's going to be early, like
5 p.m. UK.
Okay, I'm probably
think.
still going to be at work at that point. So
I mean, it'll be 7 p.m. in Dubai, won't it? So
The only reason I'm
Oh,
going to join is because those watch-alongs are fun, and the fact is I can't wait to see the IWC Rage, depending on how LA Knight gets fucked. Because I'm kind of hoping that happens.
there's also plenty of opportunity to completely shit on the fact that it's in Saudi Arabia.
That too.
All the sports washing that's going to go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Saudi Arabia have been very successful with their sport washing with the boxing last week.
Yep.
And
And they got the
very
2034
likely,
World Cup.
I think they got that now.
They've got it. Australia, because it was going to be either an Asian or a Eurasian team, a Eurasian nation, I should say. Australia
Oceania,
pulled out last day. The last moment they pulled out with a bid, which left Saudi Arabia as the only bidders, and they've officially got the 2034 World Cup.
I wonder who took some bribes to pull out on that fucking thing.
To a degree, Saudi Arabia, I mean, more than Qatar, deserves to host the World Cup simply because they constantly qualify for it. But so do Australia. And I would love to have seen Australia host the World Cup. That would have been great.
Yeah, so we're going to get another winter World Cup.
Well, I suppose it means actually there'll be a football match in Saudi Arabia attended by more than 1,000 people for once.
Look, for
Maybe.
me, one of the issues I had with Qatar was how they were going to handle all of these scantily clad women, because there was this one Croatian bird. She had her nipples painted black, and she had almost it was really cleverly done because it looked like she was wearing clothes, but you can see between the lines, you can see that she just painted over her fucking nipples, and she's walking around
body
Qatar
paint, yeah.
like that. Yeah, like how you can't pull that off in fucking Saudi Arabia. They'll fucking chop your they'll chop your tits off for that. You know what I mean?
And then with WWE, if they don't do this, I'm going to be pissed. When they go to Berlin next year, Alex Wright better fucking make an appearance. If we don't have that, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be so angry about that.
Like we said, though, WWE seems to have learned their lesson from previous years. They're not sending the entire crew over for Crown Jewel. So the night Crown Jewel happens, there's going to be a house show. I think it's in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
And I'd actually be more interested in what the main event is at the Rochester, New York show, because again, it's going to be Gunther versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental title.
Well, in the house show.
Yeah, that's in the house show. The same night as Crown Jewel.
Can you imagine if they take the title off of Gunther at a house show? They've done that before. Yeah,
that's crazy that Gunther's not in Crown Jewel. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, again, I think as in case anything goes wrong, like happened a few years back. So at least they've actually got a solid crew that they can do the next episode of Monday Night Raw with.
Yep. Yeah. They get stuck there because we know that happened that last time. One of the last times they were there, they were literally stuck there. Yep.
Yeah.
They're like, you ain't going home yet, motherfuckers.
They only had 2 or 3 members of the main roster who didn't go.
Yep.
And then the rest was NXT guys.
Yeah, and then they did that NXT invaded SmackDown shit.
Yeah.
What was even worse was the fact that Vince just jumped on his private jet and fucked off and didn't even do anything really to I didn't go back or to fight. When he does that, man, you know what I mean? It drives me nuts. Yeah, he should be on the private jet. He should be in the same fucking plane as those wrestlers. When it comes to that particular event, he should be flying with them.
I agree, but come on, man. We know Vince. Vince's superpower is pettiness.
But you had the plane right from hell, and he was in that plane.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean? It can happen. Like this is, in my opinion, this is where you got to kind of show you're the boss and you're going to be leading your troops. And he needed to be on that plane around America and other parts of the world. Fair enough, but on this particular occasion, he needed to be there, and he
fucked right off. Yeah.
See, Vince's comments about Saudi Arabia as well was really funny. Again, I think it was a return dig at is it Ari Emanuel or whatever his name is, about how WWE's home is Saudi Arabia, which is fucking ridiculous. And
what was it that, or was he mentioning one particular stadium in particular? One particular stadium is going to be WWE's home in Saudi Arabia from now on.
Is that what it was? I thought he said that WWE just kind of double check with that fucking scatterbrains. But I'm starting to think that the guy's regretting the deal with Endeavor, and that he should have sold it to the Saudis instead.
They're going to force him out. He's just biding his time right now because he's like, fuck this. I got money, bitch. I can go to watch Francis Ngannou fight.
Yeah, he's definitely on his fucking
right. No, I think what he was saying was that Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Well, Riyadh is going to be WWE's home in Saudi Arabia because they've previously done the shows in Jeddah.
I see. So the article I read didn't mention any of that. So they probably muddled his words.
It's possible, yeah.
Fuck's sake.
So
again, most of WWE's shows have been in Jeddah. So again, I think it's the fact that they're going to be doing stuff in Riyadh now.
Yeah.
So like the football stadiums that have hosted who host their league football, they'll be the ones hosting the matches in the World Cup, or they're going to be rebuilding stadiums and all of that shit.
Probably build stadiums.
Yeah, I would assume there's either going to be stadiums built or they're going to
Super League as well.
There's either going to be stadiums built or they're going to rebuild some of the league stadiums that they've got.
I have a question because of pettiness. All right, now that Ric Flair is in AEW, how long y'all want to give it before Cena gets his 17th world title? Because I guarantee that's going to be happening. Now that Ric Flair is gone, Vince and Triple H is going to be like, well, fuck this. We're going to go ahead and just put the title on Cena.
Well, I don't know, because remember, Cena's only there as long as the SAG-AFTRA strike's going on.
Yeah.
And that looks like it's coming to an end soon.
Yeah.
And the second that it's over, he'll be going back.
Yeah. And do my voyeurism, watching some of the clips on YouTube of him on SmackDown. He's fucking LA Knight's cheerleader. You know what I mean?
They're doing the classic WWE thing of latching John Cena onto the most popular person. of the minute, just like they did with Zack Ryder.
Yeah, but
Well,
They-
again,
they
that-
treat
that-
him like a
that
limp.
kind of matters.
not necessarily. I mean, it could be that they brought John Cena in so that he can give the rub and put over LA Knight.
Yeah, I agree with.
Doesn't
with
need
Shredder
to.
on
LA
that
Knight is
because-
over. He is
Yeah,
over.
but this gives him.
It's the
this
same with
puts him
Zack
extra
Ryder.
over.
You know, he was over, and they just put John Cena there. Just didn't need
Yeah,
to. Don't need
That's
to.
what John Cena was week in, week out. Now John Cena is a special attraction, and you can see that when he does come back.
And nobody gives a fuck
yeah.
that he's back either. You know, like it doesn't get like an Undertaker type reception. It's just like, hey, Cena back, great.
All he is there for, in my opinion, is just to put people over. Now he's at that stage of his career where
Yes.
he needs to be just lying down and putting people over. That's what matters. So
Well, again, it's what
Yeah,
he should
I
be
mean-
doing at this stage of his career.
That's what he should be doing. Yeah.
I think he'll fight LA Knight at WrestleMania.
If he sticks around that long, yes.
I
Yeah.
don't think he'll be at Mania because the strike is coming to an end. So
He's going to be out by Christmas, most
no, he's
likely.
listen. Look, let's make it very clear to people before speculation. He's there because of the strike, and he has a multitude of projects to be working on. As soon as the strike's over, he's gone, and he's going to go
He-
back on those
And,
projects.
and he's been open and honest about that. He said,
Yeah.
that the only reason he's there is because the strike's going on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't want our channel to be the one that's throwing in speculations, this, that, and the other. No, he's
But
only
now
there
we're gonna.
till the strike ends, and then he's going back.
Yep.
So there's no big future plans. They're just using while they've got him, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The only way they'd be able to keep him around would be actually, yeah, I don't think there would be a way. The only thing they could do is if they wanted to really be petty, we're going to put Cena in a world title program. We don't know how long we have him. We'll put it on him for a week just to say, fuck you, Ric Flair. We gave it to Cena. You're no longer the 16-time world champion, whatever the fuck. And then they'll take it off Cena the next week just to say that they did that because they could
Yeah.
do that.
Oh,
because they're petty.
that
I
level
suppose
of
they don't
pettiness
even need to
is
take that-
ridiculous.
They don't even need to take the belt off Reigns. They could take it off Rollins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They could just send Cena to Monday Night Raw, be like, "Hey, bitch, here's the title I haven't won yet." Bam, he got it. Okay, and then the next week, yeah, Rollins wins it back, and then we go on as if nothing has ever happened. Just like when Brock Lesnar beat Kofi Kingston for the WWE title, and then Kofi was like, "Oh, what the fuck? I was the WWE champion." Apparently,
I just really
Yeah.
look. Maybe under Vince, I could understand that, but I'm hoping with this new era that won't necessarily be the case.
It's not
and
gonna happen.
and
No.
Yeah,
like,
well,
honestly,
Triple H.
like these levels of pettiness over like who's got the belt more often, I really don't want that to be an issue. It doesn't fucking matter. And there's no, even though Ric Flair is a fucking sexual deviant, there's no harm in him being the fucking person who's held it the most or won it the most amount of times. I mean, honestly, Johnson is bigger than that. He doesn't need that accolade. It's ridiculous. I hope it doesn't go like that. It's a level of pettiness I won't appreciate. I don't think most fans would appreciate. But let's keep our fingers crossed, Jose. I mean, let's hope that's the case.
So, here's a question for you. Do you think that I'm actually going to make a prediction now? I think that LA Knight might catch the win over Reigns.
Dusty
I think
finish.
it'll-
Dusty finish.
Yeah. LA
Dusty
Knight will get
finish.
LA Knight will get fucked over for the belt. They'll keep him looking strong so he can be a challenger later on down the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same thing they did with Drew McIntyre at fucking Takashi Castle. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
LA
know.
Knight has won the title. Wait, there's a foot on a rope or some technicality or something. Here's what I want to see. I want to see the foot on the rope, but instead of the spear, I want LA Knight to be put in the guillotine, but he doesn't tap out. I want LA Knight to pass out. That's
Yeah,
how
I mean,
I want it.
again, there's other options too. I mean, there's Lance Anoa'i, for example, got released from MLW recently. He could easily show up in part of the bloodline. You've
Oh,
got,
yeah.
I mean, you've got the fact that Paul Heyman's been involved with Braun Breaker on NXT. Bring him
Yeah.
up, have him screw LA Knight out the belt.
Yeah.
Well, on Crown Jewel, no, I think it'll be Solo and fucking and Jimmy. We want as well as obviously Paul Heyman as well. A combination of those three will
Yeah.
stop LA Knight from and John Cena's not going to be there, is he?
Ooh, good
no,
question.
I don't think so.
Because
Let me have a look at the card there, sorry.
He hasn't been to like a Saudi Arabia event since the very first one, and I can see him not going if that's the case, because he's kind of not spoken too kindly about the Saudis. So I think it'd be a mistake if they bring him now.
Yeah, he's not going because they're already over there right now. SmackDown tonight's been taped because the talent are already over there.
Yeah, Gary, what's the card saying?
Right. So what we have is Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. Don't know who he is.
How is Sami Zayn over in Saudi Arabia? What's going on?
Yeah, the ban was lifted on him, so he was there at the last event.
All forgiven now.
Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. That should be a good match.
Who against Drew McIntyre?
Seth Rollins.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
They had a great match during the COVID period.
Only way McIntyre wins is if he's re-signing. That's it, because he's getting re-signed.
He's
Okay.
not gonna win that match.
Fatal 5-way for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Stark versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Nia Jax.
Rhea wins.
The only women's match if they can make it a fatal 5-way. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, man.
Rhea-
Fatal 5-way.
Rhea wins because they're trying to establish the legacy of that damn title that they got, and then she's going to drop it at WrestleMania. That's how they're going.
Saudi Arabia, Rhea Ripley wins, and then she pegs Dominic Mysterio in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Honestly, I wish they made it in some sort of ladder match or something like that. That would have been fun. Fatal 5-way? Oh, come on, man! It just sounds awful.
Probably some Saudi custom where women aren't allowed to do DIY.
Yeah.
Okay, so
She's on the ladder! Haram!
all right, Roman Reigns versus LA Knight.
LA's not winning that.
Yep.
Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul.
Don't care.
That match.
God.
Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest.
I'd like to see Damian actually win this one, but they'll probably have blonde hair, blue eyes America win the match.
John Cena versus Melissa Collier.
Cena is there. Yeah, Cena is working.
Cena is there.
Yeah,
Why didn't you just go straight to that to tell us he was there, for fuck's sake?
All right. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair.
Bianca wins.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good match.
It's Io Sky, so I assume she'd probably wind up defending the title.
Oh yeah, if she's champion, she'll win.
I think she probably. I think she'll retain.
Is that the whole card?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if there's any pre-show.
Gina is going to be there. No
Zayn
Battle Royale?
John Cena.
No.
No Battle Royale because Mansoor got released because they always usually do the Battle Royals for him.
And they didn't even book him in the last. They didn't even book him like the last Saudi show they did. Probably because it was
he jumped to Gunter, didn't he?
No, he was part of the Maximum Male Models, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and that
gimmick. Sorry. I'm thinking of the other.
No, that gimmick.
I'm thinking of stuff.
That gimmick would definitely not go over well in Saudi Arabia.
I'm thinking Mustafa Ali, but he's gone now, isn't he? So
yeah.
Yes. So the pre-show is going to be Zayn versus Madonna.
That's not good for Zayn. Zayn deserves better than that.
Right. So I'm going to be Mysterio versus Paul. I won't.
Mysterio or Ricochet?
No,
it's Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is defending the US title against Logan Paul. I really fucking hope they do not put the belt on Logan Paul.
What happened to Ricochet versus Logan Paul for their rematch?
That happened. They had that match.
Yeah, they had that.
Logan Paul won.
So he won the rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did he end up banging Samantha Irvin? God, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She is so fine. Yeah, I mean, the ring announcer.
Samantha Irvin, the ring announcer.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ricochet ended up banging her. Yeah, not Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Logan
He's so lucky, Ricochet.
Isn't he
Man.
like married to some Danish supermodel bird who's fit as hell? What's her name?
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
I forgot her name. But you guys carry on while I.
Her name was CryptoZoo.
Okay. Trying
Dink
to
Doink.
trying to think. The match I'm looking forward to the most, I'd say
Nina Agdal. She is so fit.
All right, Rollins versus
Googling it now.
McIntyre should be a really good match.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean Rollins McIntyre, you can't go wrong with that match.
Rollins versus Priest, I will be at least a solid match. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa, couldn't give a shit.
It'd be interesting. I mean, if Cena makes Sikoa look like a monster, then who knows? I mean, because he's done that before with guys.
Yeah, he did that with Umanga.
He did it with Umaga. He's done it with Lesnar. Again, if he's done it with the Undertaker. So again, if Cena could make Sikoa look like a monster, then great.
And Cena could afford the loss. I mean, at this point, he doesn't need to win shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not there to win anymore. Yeah, that stage of his career is over. He's over.
Yeah.
Okay. As I said, I probably will be watching it just because.
You're going to join us for the watch along tomorrow.
I've got wrestling. I've got extra wrestling training afterwards, but as soon as I finish that, yes.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah. Fuck you.
Okay, so Crown Jewel on tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, so moving on.
Yep, moving on. We are just Jose. You want to give us an update on Call of Duty?
Okay, the campaign came out yesterday, and honestly, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. While the story is pretty good, it's not worth $70. They did like this early access. You pre-order the game, you get the campaign a week early.
I'm just going to hide you because I can't see Jose. Yep. I'll bring you back in.
Yep. They give you the campaign a week early if you buy the game digitally and all that kind of shit. And it takes place immediately after Modern Warfare 2. It does feel like a Modern Warfare game, but here's how the mission structure works. Instead of going A to B, they leave this fucking map open, and then it's like, all right, go kill these 100 people, go grab this shit that you need to grab, and then when you grab the shit that you need, you win the mission. And it's the same fucking thing for pretty much every mission that you're playing. Thank you, Treyarch.
The only thing I care about is a fucking zombie mode, which is basically Outbreak 2, but meets DMZ.
That you'll find out next week when the full fucking game releases. So I'll definitely have more to talk about.
Yeah, you could keep us updated on that, but the time being, I don't give a fuck about the game.
Yeah,
but
for the campaign,
I want an update.
Yep, for the campaign, it's pretty good. The story's good, but yeah, it's just like, okay, you go here, you kill 100 people, you grab this cell phone shit, and then they tried to do No Russian all over again, but this time they did it on a plane, which I thought was kind of interesting. They kind of did the repeat of the No Russian incident. And right. Yep. And then there's this other mission where it's like, okay, we've got to stop Makarov, and this time you're trying to take him down in a stadium. And it takes place during the original or the reboot of Modern Warfare 2019. And I thought that was interesting. So there's a couple interesting missions in there. But I can't justify $70 to $100 for Call of Duty so far. It's going to be one of those campaigns. You'll play it once, you'll never touch the campaign again.
Yeah. And speaking of slipping into greed, Warner Brothers are basically now toe to toe with EA and all those other fucking greedy bastards. With introducing a fatality that you can have to buy.
What?
For $10.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So there was a special.
I'm hearing of this. What?
Yeah. So there was
$10.
Yeah. There was a Halloween. There was a Halloween style fatality, where you had to. I could bring Gaz back in now. Where you had to spend. If you want it, you have to spend $10. You can't grind for it. You can't unlock it any other way.
Are they on crack?
No.
No, they're just greedy bourgeoisie cunts.
No, God, and I thought I was going to give Konami the worst fucking tactic of the year for releasing practically the same fucking game with the Metal Gear Solid collection that they just did like a week or two ago.
Yeah, which was
and they literally changed up nothing. Yeah,
nothing. It's a 10-year-old collection re-released again. But, Warner Brothers, look. we know Warner Brothers games are like. We know that how bad they've shit their bed. Just look at Gotham Knights and look at Suicide Squad. So the fact that people are surprised, and fighting games are just as egregious as sports games when it comes to greed. You know, putting characters behind paywalls that are series regulars, yeah, or locking them in a pre-order only kind of way of getting them and all this kind of shit. Fighting games are the worst for that. They suck. Like I don't mind if they're getting in licensed characters and people want to pay for those. That's fine. But all your core characters should be in the game from the start. Not unlockable. If they're in the roster and they've been in the roster since the beginning, they should always be there. And then you could just license, you get your Robocops, your Rambos and whatever, and bring them in. And that could be paid DLC. Zam.
Mortal Kombat 1, like they had 6 DLC characters, and 3 of those characters were established Mortal Kombat characters in the first one. You know, they've been in previous games, and the only people who were was Peacemaker, Omni-Man, and Homelander. Like, all right, fair enough. You know, you want to bring them in and try to paywall, get them for a paywall. Fair enough, but which I don't agree with, by the way. But to add 3 established Mortal Kombat characters as DLC characters is a joke. It's an absolute fucking joke.
Yep.
Right. This is why I know that you guys criticize the game, but why I love Spider-Man the game so much, and Spider-Man 2, because everything you can collect and open, you can do it in game. You don't have to spend it with some sort of bullshit flaming currency that they create. You just play the game and you unlock stuff by doing side missions. So you do it by doing the sciencey stuff, or just doing like side criminal activities, or doing like landmark stuff.
You could just simply say all content is unlockable in the game. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to flame it up with loot boxes or flaming spend 100 quid or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it, by the way, and my opinion has changed, by the way, since we last reviewed it.
Are we actually going to talk about? Are we actually going to talk about it now? No.
I've almost finished it. I've almost finished it. I've done all the side missions. The
only thing I'm going to say gameplay wise is the most boring fucking thing about Spider-Man 2, and the thing that pisses me off, is literally once you do everything, and I literally mean everything, max Peter and Miles out, get all the upgrades, and do all the missions, the game is dead. There is nothing to do. That's the downside. And that's all I'm going to give away. Yep.
I'm close to platinuming it.
Yeah,
I'm about to platinum it. I got 2 trophies to go.
Let me just get to some comments here from Vance. Rust sells $50 skim for boxes. I'll believe any game.
Agreed now. Yeah.
Agreed now. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Nothing surprises me. But again, this is why I argue at some point you have to start, you've got to start taking fucking control of your spending and stop giving these companies money, because your FOMO is what's ruining the games. There has to be some form of personal accountability.
But Ginger, I got to get that new glitter part. I got to get that new glitter part. I got to get that new glitter pig skin. You know, I got to get that because it's only going to be here for this limited amount of time. Don't you understand?
Yeah, exactly that. It's this rampant consumerism. Because if there's no money to be made from it, then they're gonna, they'll always find ways to fucking stiff you one way or another. But at least you can rein it in a bit. Like
Spider-Man's got tons of skins. Tons. I don't give a fuck about most of them. Okay, this is the one I'm going to use for pretty much majority of the fucking game. I'm good. You know what I mean? That's it.
I thought the governments were kind of clamping down on all this shit.
Yeah.
Mate, the government,
they talk a good game.
Loot boxes, and every company has moved on from fucking loot boxes.
Gaz, I got
this shit.
Gaz, I got a bridge to sell you if you actually believe that bullshit, that they're going to be fucking stepping in to stop this shit, because this is also the same fucking thing they said about investigating pro wrestling. Yeah, they said that they were going to do that, and what the fuck has happened? Nothing. Yep. They've done nothing. So,
and the EU is about as useful as a fucking
fidget spinner. Yeah.
cardboard suit in a fucking rainstorm. They are. They you know, at one point they used to be quite strict on like monopoly laws, but these fucking days they're just as bad as the United States. They just let everything get monopolized and owned by the fucking Americans anyway.
Yep.
Useless fucking institution they are. And you know, I don't expect them to do anything. I don't expect individual countries. Like I said, countries are still talking about fucking loot boxes, and they're like, they've moved on from loot boxes. They know that loot boxes are toxic, so now they've moved on to fucking selling new battle passes and all this kind of shit and skins and all that bollocks. Now they're just selling it to you directly rather than sticking it in a loot box.
Yep.
They're always going to move the fucking needle on greed with the gaming industry. But the funny thing is the ones that are getting nominated and the most profitable games this year, if we don't look at fucking mobile games, because they're always the most profitable one. Thank you, Asia. They're the biggest culprits in all of this. South Korea and China. Fucking hell, man. But the biggest games of the year and the best sellers of the year have been like Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Hogwarts Legacy, and there's Spider-Man 2 and all this kind of shit. And these are games.
Mario is up there as well as a game of the year contender, isn't it?
Yeah, Mario.
The new Mario game, that's up there as a game of the year contender.
It shouldn't be. That game was disappointing, but
child, I will have to come down there and hurt you. I will do things. How dare you? How dare you speak sacrilegious Mario like that?
It's okay, you know.
What's wrong with you?
Blow me away.
Yeah.
And then again, I think my love for 2D games just isn't really there anymore.
But what's going to happen is Call of Duty is going to come in and fucking spank every single one of them because it's fucking Activision. It's what they do. Activision's like, oh, you got a nice game here. Look, bitch, Call of Duty, battle passes. Motherfuckers are going to buy this shit because all we got to do is we got to make it flashy as fuck. We're going to literally give you the same Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, a game that came out damn near 15 years ago, and people will still buy it because nostalgia sells.
I mean, consider about. I'm totally ignorant of this, but didn't the kind of Modern Warfare bubble burst on it? Because didn't like number 3 or something do really shittily compared to number 2?
Number 2 didn't do great. Yeah.
Number 2 didn't really do so well, and then they decided. Basically, well, here's what they should have done with this one. What they should have done with Modern Warfare 3 was just make it basically a $40 expansion, because that's what this is. You could literally finish the campaign in 3 to 6 hours.
Yeah,
that's
and
terrible.
I'm about done. Yeah, I'm about 3 hours in, and I'm about done. I got like 3 missions to go.
That's why they were amping up the zombie part of the fucking game.
Yep,
because that's what it is. So now, look, I'll be perfectly honest. Cold War. I only bought because of Outbreak, and Outbreak is just the best Call of Duty thing ever. Like, I had such a good laugh. Like, you can team up with others and all of that, and it's just it's PvE. It's not PvP, and it's just missions. So every level you teleport to a level, you've got certain missions to do to get to a thing, and blah blah. And it's just a great game.
And I got a take that I know people are going to be divided on. I think Cold War honestly gets overhated. I really do. I think people hate the wrong Call of Duty. If you're going to hate a Call of Duty, hate Vanguard. Don't play Vanguard. Seriously.
Everyone hates Vanguard anyway.
Yeah,
but
don't play
Cold
Vanguard.
War,
yeah.
They just kept fucking about with the guns and ruining it. But yeah, it was good. Like, it worked really, really well compared to like the previous one. And that, but for me, this one is just all about the zombie game. And by the way, I'm not a zombie fan. Like, I'm not a fan of zombie games per se. Like, you know, I loved my Resident Evil back in the day and all that, but I'm not. It's just the game is fun, and it just happens to have zombies in it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. But it's just one of these. I'll still end up skipping it this year, I think. And Sony jacking up their fucking PlayStation Plus for £60 for the year is really, really fucking pissed me off. Really soured my mood on even getting that, because if I get that, then I have to renew PlayStation Plus to play it online. This is where government should be fucking stepping in, by the way, to say no, you cannot paywall online gaming. They don't even use your infrastructure or your fucking servers to play online. So why the hell is that locked behind a paywall? It's egregious. It's disgusting, and you have to do it for Xbox. You have to do it for Nintendo Switch. You have to do it for PlayStation. And that all of that, if you just even on the basic packages, that all works out to about £150 a year just to game online on your consoles if you've got all three. It's beyond disgusting, and I blame Microsoft because they were the first to do it with Xbox Live Gold back in when the 360 launched, and it's because of them because the following year.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong. Xbox and PlayStation used to be a flat $50, no problem, when they first started online.
No, PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah, it was free. It was free. Yeah, Xbox was like $50 a year, and then they fucked around and got greedy and said, "Yeah, fuck it. Now we're going to raise it to like 60 or whatever." And then PlayStation followed suit with the PS4.
Yeah, when the PS4 launched, it was you can get it for about £30, £33 for the year, and now it's double that price.
Wasn't there a fee initially to play the PlayStation Network on PS3 up until Sony got hacked?
Yeah.
What's that?
Wasn't there a fee initially for the PS3 to get that online until Sony got hacked?
No, I always used to play it online from day one. Mind you, I didn't get the PlayStation 3 until the Slim came out because I never ever buy the big chunky versions. So I don't know if there was anything before that, but as far as I know, it was always free to play online.
Yeah, that PS3 was fucking humongous.
Yeah,
I remember the original. I used to have the fat PS3, one of the very first ones that came out.
Yeah, I always opt for the slim models of every console I've ever had because I just can't stand the big chunky versions that just take up too much room. Even with the PS5, when I was considering it, I'm waiting for the slim. But now I stick to playing on my laptop. Let me see here.
Activision, if you want to sell from Panny, there's one thing you need to do: Hello Kitty skins.
Hell yeah, he would buy that.
Fucking sold, mate. Sold. Give me Hello Kitty skins. I'm all in. Funeral Friend here. Mind you, they had the Skeletor skin, which looked fucking awesome. But I still wouldn't buy that. I don't buy it. I don't spend outside of the game itself. This is how old I am. The only DLC I've ever bought is expansion packs.
You are old.
That's back to the CD-ROM days when you buy the expansion CDs.
God, you're old.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of fucking game for that.
Used to buy magazines with the fucking CDs on it and shit like that.
Yep, I did too. Yep, the demo disc. I remember the demo disc. You kids today will never know about the demo disc, man. Yep.
Yeah.
We used to subscribe to the magazines just to play the demo disc for that month.
That's pretty much the only DLC. Other than if I got like a game. No, that's pretty much it. And I think Saints Row 3, when the skins were like, the whole packs were like peanuts. Like, I got the game for free, and to buy all the other DLC was like £6, and it was fucking a shitload of stuff. Because I didn't buy the game on release, I got it late.
Yeah, I miss the days of expansion packs. I mean, one of my favorite games was Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Ooh.
And, the expansion packs for that were absolutely great. Armageddon's Blade and Shadow of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a shame that they fucking lost the source code for those because that's the only reason that they've never been put into the HD re-release of Might and Magic 3.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
that is fucking heartbreaking. But yeah, I'd say I miss those days. But you still get them now. Obviously, it's DLC. But like the only company that gave you your money's worth was like CD Projekt Red with The Witcher, because I think Wild Hunt or whatever it was fucking called, the DLC was like a whole game in itself.
Yeah,
and that's what I used to like. Whereas if you say, for example, I remember when the only other time, I did get DLC for Modern Warfare 2. The original Modern Warfare 2, which was only like 4 maps, but that was like £6 or something like that.
GTA London was an expansion pack as well.
Yeah, but I
remember that.
But yeah, you're right. I put more than one person called Nintendo Hotline at least once to get through a game. Nope, never.
Nope, never did. Never did.
No.
I waited to get the cheat code books in school. You kids will not know anything about that nowadays.
Nintendo Hotline.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
Nintendo hotline.
It's an America thing. I don't think we even had it here in the UK.
Oh no, they used to have video game hotlines all the time back in the day where you could call
Oh, they
up.
do? Oh, take that back. My apologies.
Yeah, it was like $1.99 or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
but
they,
we
they
used
had
to
them
get,
they had them in this country too.
Yeah.
we used to get when you used to get the old Mean Machine magazines. I think that's what it was called, Mean Machine magazines, and they'd have everything you needed in there, all your guides and all this kind of stuff. But never really needed guides to complete a game. I just waited for the cheat codes to put them in after the game was done and have some fun with that. I always remember the one for Kid Icarus, which is Medusa Loves Icarus Angels. That was the cheat code for that.
Yeah, I remember with
that.
the UK Sega magazine that effectively created the entire piracy market for the Dreamcast.
Did it?
Yeah, they released a demo disc of the Action Replay for the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that was able to bypass the Dreamcast security system.
Oh, and so they were able to create piracy through that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you were
that
able
was
to
great.
use that to run pirated discs on the Dreamcast back in the day.
I remember there used to be this thing called HD Loader where it was a disc. You would put it on your PS2, it would load up, and then what you would do is you would take the disc of the PS2 game you have, you'd put it in your PS2, then it would copy to the HD Loader. And that was one of the coolest things on PS2.
I had
Yeah.
Xcopy Pro on my fucking Amiga 500.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, and that was a really good bit of software back then.
And
Copied
for
so
all
many
my-
games like Golden Axe and stuff like that.
Yeah, mate.
And
Oh,
for all
the
my-
Amiga's still one of my all-time favorites.
And for all my cheat code people out there, you weren't a real PS2 owner unless you had the Codebreaker PS2 cheat disc. That thing used to be the shit.
Yeah,
used
when
to
it
just
fucking
do-
worked. In fact,
Yep,
in my so obviously, you know, I collect like action figures and all that. So one of the tins that I have that has a bunch of weapons in there is old fucking Codebreaker tin
Yep.
from the PlayStation 2 era. Actually, no, this one was for the GameCube.
Yep.
For the GameCube one. But I'm older than that in that we used to have Game Genie. Who remembers Game Genie?
Of
I
course,
do.
yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
When the
Games
NES,
card.
you put it into the NES, and then you put the game into that, and you
Yep.
can run your cheat. Oh, mate.
Yep. Those were the days, man.
Now
When
you
used
don't
to be
even
able
get
to
any
play-
fucking cheats in games. Ridiculous.
'Cause
Yep.
I remember the amount of time that
Well,
we had to
you can't get
reset
cheats
and
in
start.
You can't get cheats in games nowadays, except you have to fucking pay for them.
Yeah, you
Yep.
have to pay for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I remember like the day back in the day, like if I wanted to get all the skins on Street Fighter 2, I'd have to like when you load up, I have to like do this combination on the joypad,
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and if you fucked up, you have to switch it off and switch it back on again.
Run and do it
You know
again.
what I mean?
Yep.
And do it
Speaking of-
again and shit like that.
Speaking
Yeah.
of cheats, here's another thing that's going to take people away from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. There are no cheat codes in this one, so you can forget about collecting all the intel pieces and getting cheat codes.
Pay your
But
money.
that's
Was
been
there
out of
cheat
Call of
codes
Duty.
in Modern Warfare?
In the originals, back in the day, there used to be cheat codes.
Oh, is it? Oh,
If you collected all the
They-
intel pieces,
fair enough. I only ever
Yeah.
played Modern Warfare online. I never played the main story. So
Today, cheat codes are all about fucking spending money on fucking microtransactions to get
Yep.
boosters and stuff.
yeah, and
That's
time
it, that's
savers
it.
and all that shit, or actual
Yeah, that's the,
Resident Evil where they actually sold you cheats.
Yep.
yeah. Instead of unlocking skins, you buy skins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
I remember back in the day. I mean, I used to play Toka 2 touring cars on the PS1,
yep,
and you used to be able to unlock cheats just as you played the game. It would show up like a code to a code to unlock all the tracks, a code to unlock all the cars,
yep,
a code to unlock a Micro Machines style view.
Oh,
And-
brilliant. Yeah.
And you know, you would want nowadays. That's something they would want like £5 a pop. You know, for you to buy as like a microtransaction.
yep.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
It's terrible, man. The fucking rampant capitalism is just ruins everything anyway. But I'm glad that this year we saw the resurgence of single player story driven games. Mind you, even Baldur's Gate 3, which is multiplayer, and that's just blown everyone away to the point where
I got it.
other game devs were hang on, Jose. To the point where other game developers were complaining about it. It's like, stop making the game so good.
And they had to push.
We can't compete.
And, and some companies had to push their games back because of Baldur's Gate 3. They were like, fuck, now we got to push it back to March. So speaking of, okay, thank you for reminding me about Baldur's Gate, because now that's on my holiday list this year. Once it goes on sale, I'll get it.
Sweet.
Yep. And there was me thinking that all these games are getting pushed back just so they can remove fucking pronouns.
Yep.
There's too many black people in the game, so they took them out as well. You know.
Yeah, there's nothing more that I love after a day than sitting down after a hard day of sitting down
on a comfy chair.
Yeah, on a comfy chair, complaining about pronouns. Fucking pronouns.
He looked like he was really like he's going through some sort of like cultural crisis. It's ridiculous. Yeah,
what's hilarious?
Well, she did what other incels do: move to Japan.
The funniest thing is, right after he's gone on this big fucking rant
he
about pronoun and present day shit, he literally goes back to playing the fucking game.
Yeah, he presses start. Yeah,
that was so fucking funny. That was just that was world class. But you know, I think that the future of gaming is still fucking bleak, whether we want to believe it or not. You know, as long as we still get indie studios just keep churning out their works of art, then we'll be fine. And as long as those keep making money, we'll be fine. The AAA companies can fucking do whatever they want. But if the other companies are churning out the stuff that we actually want, then fine. You can find that nice balance where dickheads can spunk their money away on $50 skins, and the rest of us could be normal and just enjoy a game for what it is.
Or wait for a sale like a sane normal person would do.
Yeah, or wait for a sale like a normal person.
There isn't any microtransactions on Spider-Man 2, is there, Jose?
No, Gaz just said it.
No, there's not.
There's going to be DLC coming, just like in the first one.
And New Game Plus will eventually get up there, but for right now, once you platinum the game, you might as well stop playing the fucking game because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not going to do is get gold on the Mysterio quest. I've got a few gold. I can't be fucked with that, but everything else, I just want to complete.
Do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're gonna do what they did with the last one, which is like make another sort of like side game?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Not with Miles Morales, but like they did with, say, the cat.
And here's another funny fucking thing. Like, okay, there was an interview of like people. There was an interview of people complaining of like, oh, the Mary Jane missions were too OP, and the director literally came out and said, I don't give a shit what y'all think. I did that intentionally. I made the Mary Jane missions be OP just so she could kill people in one hit, because that was what I did. So it goes to show that Insomniac does not give a fuck.
I didn't mind the Mary Jane. They were good missions, actually. They were fun to play.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Mary Jane, by the way, have any of you seen like the incel chuds and the reaction to not just the character model, the face of the character model, but the ass of the character model?
Yes,
there's people doing side by side comparisons of the ass of the character Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 next to some character from Starfield in some skin tight outfit.
Oh my god!
And what they're also failing to realize when they're making this comparison is the character from Starfield has been fucking modded. There's a mod that goes into like a number of different Bethesda games where the people make the female characters more curvaceous.
Do you know how hard it is to do research? Do you know how hard it is to Google for these people? Do you understand how hard that is? Google is a fucking hard concept for these people, Shredder. Yeah.
I suppose so.
Now I'm not buying Spider-Man 2. If Mary Jane's got a flat ass, then forget it.
Well, they've been complaining on all types of things, of him having a deaf girlfriend, Miles Morales, and stuff like that, and the diversity, even though they're in New York fucking city, which is ridiculous, and
so false.
All of these things, and me.
Sorry, Zam. 1 second.
Stop forcing present day shit in a game.
Yeah, like you got gay couples and bisexual couples and lesbian couples, and even though they're very, even regardless that their roles are non-existent.
Oh,
My big
still-
disappointment is that you couldn't get a gay wedding cake. I'm still pissed off about that. You couldn't get a gay wedding cake in Spider-Man 2.
And
Yeah,
people are
I
losing
mean-
their shit over stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
no, the worst one is that somebody's accusing Insomniac of having their developer put themselves in the game as Mary Jane because she's a redhead and she's pretty.
Oh my god!
Bitch.
I am not fucking.
How could she?
I am not joking with you. I'm dead serious. Like, she kind of looks similar to the model that they have for Mary
Oh
Jane.
my god! They put the voice actor's likeness in the game. How could they do
No,
that?
it wasn't the voice actors. It's one of the developers. It's literally like.
But even so, how could they? Even so, how could they do that? How could they put their own developers and own voice actors and likeness in the fucking game? How could you do such a thing? People need to look like fucking Denzel Washington. Don't they know how this works?
I'm devastated. Yeah. Shocked.
Yeah, I'm crushed. I don't know if I can play Spider-Man 2 anymore.
Shook. I'm so shocked. I'm shook. Yeah. Shredder.
No,
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I thought you were
I'm,
going to say that.
I'm shocked into silence.
Okay, so that's gaming. Now we can move on to news. I
really want to start with buy one, please.
Oh
if you
yeah,
don't
go
mind.
for it, Zamo. Yeah, that's fine.
If you
Okay,
kids
I'm
are
gonna
going to
share
talk, if you
No,
kids are
no,
going
no.
to,
Stay
Okay.
on this one, Jose.
Okay.
Okay, this is a good one.
You can fuck
This
off
is
after
about
that.
yeah. I'm going to share the screen right now of this girl who's just finished college and she's now working like everyone else, and I want your guys' opinion on this because my opinion has changed from what it was. You guys ready? Okay.
okay, I've seen this
Always being
before.
so dramatic and annoying.
Yeah, I've seen
But
it.
this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh! If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like,
This is
I
a
don't
parody,
have
right?
energy to work out. Like, that's
No.
out the window. Like,
No.
I'm so upset. Oh my god. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just, like, the 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy.
Oh
Being
my
in the
God.
office 9 to 5, like, if it was remote, you get off at 5, and you're home, and everything's fine. But, like, I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and, like people that drive to the office, like, you don't get off at 5, and I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but, like, I literally get off, it's pitch black, like, I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like, how do you have time to, like, meet, like, a guy? I don't know. Like, how do you have time for, like, dating? Like, I don't have time for anything, and I'm,
This has
like,
gotta
so
be
stressed
parody.
out. And I'm
You
also
can
getting my
stop the video,
period, so
man.
that's why I'm all emotional, but, like, am
Oh,
I
let's finish
so
it.
dramatic? It's fine.
Okay.
I know I'm probably just
Okay.
being so dramatic.
All right. So what's your guys'
Yeah,
takes on
that's
this?
got to be a fucking parody.
Yeah, that can't. I know that there's people like this in the real world, and all I have to say is grow the fuck up, man. Come on. This is the way
No,
the world is.
I think this is somebody trolling. This
Yeah.
this has got to be a parody video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's not. It's genuine. No, it's genuine.
it's genuine. And then welcome to the real fucking world.
Welcome to
It
the
ain't
real
pretty.
fucking world. Tough fucking tip.
Look.
The only thing. One second.
I had-
Sam.
Yeah.
Sorry. The only thing I would always take agree on or understand people's gripes is how long it takes to get to the fucking job, because you can't afford to live in an area where all the jobs are. You have to live further out, which is a pain in the ass to get into. That part I could sympathize with. The rest of it,
But again, she's complaining about the fact that she has to leave at 7:30 in the morning to get to a job at 9 o'clock. She gets home at 6:15 from finishing at 5 o'clock. Now, let's be honest. In this country, the Department of Work and Pensions, they mandate that you have to be willing to travel up to 90 minutes to go each way to and from a job if you want to
which
claim
is scandalous, if
any
you
kind of
ask me.
unemployment benefits. Yeah, I
That's
agree.
terrible.
Yeah.
And again, this has got to be a fucking joke. I mean, I've literally, left an industry where I would go in for 9 o'clock in the morning. It would be a split shift, so I would finish at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd start back at 5:36, and I would be there until 11 o'clock at night. I wouldn't get home. I wouldn't get home till nearly fucking midnight.
Yeah,
I was doing that for nearly 15 years.
And that's not good, though, Shredder. That's not good. See, I actually 100% with this girl. I'm really lucky that I actually have a job that is so fucking flexible that I could do things in my life. Yeah, before that I couldn't. The one reason why I'm so fucking fat is I wasn't able to fucking go to the fucking gym because I was too busy fucking working, felt fucking tired, came home, constantly eating fucking fast food. I am living to make fucking rich people richer. That's what I'm doing, working all the fucking time, spending my fucking, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's right. Don't you get it? It doesn't. It's wrong. It shouldn't be like this. Our world shouldn't be like this. I'm totally with this girl. We should be fucking, this real world that we're living in is fucking shit. Mate, it shouldn't be like this whatsoever.
I get that point, but the main thing she's complaining about is the 9 to 5.
Now, exactly.
Okay,
9 to 5 is bollocks. We are.
That's changing now. That is changing. Like a lot of
we're trying to get
down. 4-day work.
4-day work.
Which is 32 hours.
And also, there was one particular point during COVID where people were able to work from home and stuff like that, which businesses don't want to do anymore. Even though working from home was actually was very productive. Yeah, exactly. It was very productive. This way of life that we've been brainwashed into thinking that this is how things need to be done is bullshit. We should be living to work. Working to live, not living to work, which is what we're doing right now, and it's absolutely terrible. I really feel sorry for this girl, but she's finished her fucking her education, and now she's doing something which she might have to do for a majority of her life, where she has to travel fucking God knows how long to work for this particular company, and then whatever free time she has left, she's just going to come home, rest, eat, and sleep. We have 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, but unfortunately, the other 8 hours we have during the day is used to get to work and come home from work, which only leaves us maybe 5 or 6 hours if we're lucky, for ourselves. If anything, it's not.
Yeah, but I guarantee you she's not working 7 days a week, mate.
Yeah, there's no way.
I'm not saying that she is. I'm just saying that this way of life that we have, where we're constantly working all the fucking time. If rich people hired more fucking people, took a little bit less fucking money, gave us better fucking, we ourselves as human beings were allowed to have better, more fulfilling fucking lives than always fucking working all the time. Then we wouldn't have girls like her fucking crying. And
hey, look,
I'm totally with her.
I would be completely in favor of the 3 or 4 day working week. But I'd be completely in favor of a 3 or 4 day working week. And you pay people extra money, or give people a universal basic income to supplement their wages. Yeah. But at the same time, though, I mean, this girl is living. It's a case of welcome to the real fucking world.
Yeah, and exactly. And once again, the real fucking world is shit. It shouldn't be this shit. It should be better than this. People living in fucking food. It should be much better than the way it is right now. People living on fucking food banks.
But she's not complaining about that. She's complaining. No, look again. She's literally complaining about the fact she has to travel to and from work. Like everybody else on this goddamn planet.
Yeah. But now I sympathize more as well. I sympathize with the traveling to work thing. Because in America, you get people that fucking travel ages just to get to work. It's fucking. There's no public transport. There's no good infrastructure there, so it takes ages with a car and all this kind of shit. That part I sympathize. If their job has the work from home offer, you could do the job working from home, and their job isn't offering that. Again, I sympathize. But yes, it is kind of welcome to the real world. There's no need to put yourself out there on TikTok and have a fucking meltdown and be ridiculed. By everyone. You want to change the system, you fight for it. The system is changing slowly, except for fucking wages going up. Everything else, though, hours are being reduced because you find, me, I work 2 days a week. Now, those 2 days are fucking intense. I'm always busy. People are every time I walk in the office, people are surprised to see me there because I'm out all over the borough conducting workshops and I'm talking to fucking people, and I'm giving them financial giving them financial capabilities workshops where they're learning about all the different ways to kind of save, enhance income, and all this kind of shit. And people are fucking struggling. You know, they are struggling. But the issue there is you know, this system of greed with capitalism and all this kind of shit. Blah blah. Blah. Yeah, well, you want to make changes. You gotta stop voting for the fucking
No,
Tories,
I actually agree, but this is all what I believe. What she's complaining about encompasses all of that. It's not necessarily earning enough. It's not having enough time for yourself. It's not being able to do other things. Because we're constantly working for people who enslave us. We put in a situation where where our wages are not going up.
Yep.
Our wages are not going up, but everything else is going up, which means that we have to work all the fucking time. This is not how it should be in the world we're living in. And I'm really happy that Gen Z are fucking complaining about this shit, and I really hope they make the fucking change. Because we've been brainwashed into believing that this is how it should fucking be, and it shouldn't be the way it is at this moment in time. No fucking way.
All I'm going to say, because I got to get ready to get out of here. Yeah, the world should not be the way it is, and all that needs to be said is in life there's people that talk about it, and there's people that get shit done. Get shit done. Don't just sit here and talk about it and complain. You want to take action, handle your business, get off your ass, and make some noise, raise some hell, do what you got to do, and demand better change. That's all that really needs to be said.
I want to capitalize on what Jose is saying there quickly. If we look at a good thing to say, oh well, this kind of doesn't work. Look at the narrative between Israel and Palestine now compared to what it used to be like. Now the window has shifted where more voices are being heard from the Palestinian side and the pro-Palestinian side, because the tidal wave is too fucking hard to suppress, to the point where even like people are asking for Keir Starmer to fucking resign because of his stance on Gaza. In America, a lot of politicians are being pressured to kind of demand a ceasefire and all this kind of shit. Whether it happens or not, it's not the point. The point is, well, hopefully it does, but the point is, they are finding it impossible to suppress one side. So if Gen Z hate the working conditions, hate what they have to deal with, and in America it's fucking brutal. It's brutal here. It's brutal as well.
Everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Just fucking keep saber rattling and keep making sure that you get to the ballots and you vote for the fucking right people, or just make this kind of system too toxic where politicians can't run away from the shit that they're creating. Hassle them, harass them, and make sure they don't bow to corporations. Harass the corporations, boycott the corporations, do what you can, and
Think
just
with your
make
wallets.
it. Yeah. Just civil disobedience is the best way to do it.
But I will say that there are a lot of companies now over here. I'm not sure if it's the same in America that do hybrid working. That only now you have to work maybe like 2 to 3 days in the actual office. A lot of time you can just do it remotely from home, because some people have issues about getting to work, not just the transport issues, but some people have social anxiety issues, some people have like real issues around other people, and they find working from home much easier because maybe they've got children, maybe they've got like childcare, and it's much easier to fit around being at home rather than going into an office. And I think that has significantly changed. Now there's still but the thing is, with what this lady's saying, she lives in New York City. She lives in probably one of the most costly cities in the entire world. Of course,
she works in New York. I don't think she lives in New York.
She works in New York, but it's not like sometimes you have no. I live in London. It's not like I have much of a choice. And a couple of things I want to say here. Yep. One of the reasons why I don't want kids is that this fucking world is terrible. And I don't want to bring a child into this fucking world because it's that shitty. This girl is in this shitty world that she's inherited kind of from people like us who hadn't done enough when we were fucking around, to fucking make it better for people like her. So we are kind of responsible for that. So as much as we want to say, she get off her ass and fucking make things better for ourselves, well, we should have fucking done something better for her in order to fucking inherit a better world, but we didn't. You know, we fucking let the capitalists fucking run us, and now, unfortunately, the next generation are way worse off than we will ever be. And I feel sorry for this girl. I really do. My heart goes out to her.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. I got a dip.
See you, Jose. Thanks for joining us, mate. Take care. All the best.
Catch y'all.
Bye. Yeah. I mean, look. I always say that it's as long as the wages are good, then it's fine. But the problem is the wages fucking suck. People are earning 30% less now than what they were 40 years ago, and that's just insane.
With the rate of inflation, for sure, yeah.
Add to that the cost of housing, which is skyrocketed beyond any kind of affordability, and we're back at Victorian era of poverty, and more so, just because we have pretty looking houses and pretty infrastructure and all this kind of shit for what it is compared to back then. People are poorer now than they ever have been. But like, I see it at work as well. I see it all the fucking time. Housing and debt are our biggest issues. And yeah, it's Thatcher's children, which is us, that's what I call us. Thatcher's children were raised in the world of hypercapitalism, consumerism, individuality, self-centeredness, and all this kind of shit, and apathy, political apathy. And that's why a lot of mine and Gen X, kind of just in this country in particular, just don't give a fuck about politics. And that's to the benefit of the bourgeoisie, and that's wrong. Whereas Gen Z now and millennials and all of that are far more active in politics and far more aware of the situation. Like in the 2019 election, despite what happened, youth turnout for the Labour vote was incredible, especially in the cities. And so we're on the right path, even though Labour's gone to shit. The Greens have taken record number of council seats this year, in the last year, because of Starmer's being a shitty cunt, a fascist, basically.
So they've been taken from Labour, not from Conservatives.
They've been taken from both Conservatives and Labour.
Okay, that's good. The longer they take it from Conservatives, that's what matters to me.
Yeah, no, taking it from Labour is just as good as well, because it sends a message to Starmer to say, if you're going to be a Tory cunt, then we're going to shift to the Greens. And
taking from Labour seems like a no
blue or red Tories.
Taking from Labour seems like a no-brainer, because obviously Labour is the left-wing party. But for Tories to join, it should be.
Yeah,
it should be. But the point is, as it hasn't been under Starmer, I can totally understand people jumping ship to the Greens. But for me, I think it's fundamental, so the Tories don't stay in power, that a lot of Tory fucking voters are leaving for whoever, whether it be Labour or fucking the Greens. You know, it's more important for them to be jumping ship than anything else.
Well, Labour are going to win the next general election. By hook or by crooks, Keir Starmer is our next fucking prime minister, and I hope he throws a massive swear. It was like, it's all a ruse, and we're all going in with left-wing politics. Of course, that's a fucking fat chance of happening.
Yeah, I'm more worried that Keir Starmer is probably going to be the next prime minister to lead us into a war.
Yeah, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. But what I do hope happens is the Tories get completely wiped out. Obviously, there's a threat of reform kind of taking their place, but that will be hopefully for just a fringe lunatic wing. And I'm hoping that the second biggest party is a left-wing coalition rather than just the Greens, because too easy to infiltrate and corrupt, just like they've done with fucking Labour. So I'm hoping,
exactly. That's what concerns me the most, Ginger. It doesn't matter what party you are. It's just a fucking party, just a name. It's the people who infiltrate that party. It's not like these voters and these politicians are going to have anywhere else to go. They'll just fucking join somebody else and corrupt them and give us the same shit we're getting under the fucking Tories.
Yeah. It depends. I mean, Labour were very, very anti the infiltration of the left under Corbyn. They desperately wanted to get rid of the left wing of the party when more and more people were defecting from the likes of the Greens and the SNP.
Yeah,
there you go.
But now they've gotten their wish, because when Starmer came in, he's kicked out so many people, including a record number of Jews, by the way. More Jews have been kicked out under Starmer than any other Labour in its history. But of course, the media is silent on that because, but they're not, they're anti-Zionist, so we don't give a fuck about them. So, woohoo, hypocrisy. But, that's fine. I keep saying, and I always say, that's fine. Fuck it. Let Labour die. Just move to other parties, but make sure you're active in your local area and all this kind of shit. Like, if I ever get into politics down the line, I'm building up a wonderful reputation in my community for all the work I do within my job, and that so people I go to areas now and people just recognize me, just saying, "Oh, hello, I was at your workshop," and all this kind of. I'm not saying like I'm giving them the work. What I mean is I'm recognizing who I work for and all this kind of shit, and it's just be active within your community, and that's one of the best parts about my job is I've learned so much about my own community. Was before. I've lived there all my life. I didn't know fucking half of anything that was going on. And now it's like a real eye-opener. And what's worse is the eye-opener is a tragic one. Like the levels of poverty and struggle among people. And I keep like hoping that the generation of immigrants that have come in recently that have just been absolutely fucked by the system, I'm hoping their kids grow up with a burning passion that they go full on commie and raise some hell.
Yeah, but again, things are looking bleak when it is the choices between the Tories or the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
not a progressive alternative, not a Labour Party that's got a vision on how to change the country for the better. Just the lesser of two evils. Yeah. So we've got Keir Starmer.
Barely the lesser of two.
Yeah.
evils.
So we got Keir Starmer refusing to roll back Tory policies that have trampled on rights to protest. We have got Keir Starmer who has suspended Andy McDonald for calling for peace because he used the words "from the river to the sea."
Yeah.
So
it's not a slur.
Yeah, exactly.
I still don't get.
But he blatantly called for peace. Well, because the
river to the sea thing.
River to the sea. It's considered an anti-Semitic. Israelis consider it anti-Semitic. It's basically saying, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." They claim it's the idea that you want from the River Jordan to the Mediterranean Sea, Israel to be wiped out. When Andy McDonald did not say that. Andy McDonald said I believe it was along the lines of, "From the river to the sea, we want Israelis and Palestinians to live in peace."
Yeah, what a bastard.
Okay.
I know, what an absolute
bastard. Oh,
look, I'm glad we're segueing to this now because I said earlier in the chat that I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
You remember?
Yeah, go for it.
And my question is, why does the fucking world cuck to Israel? I need to fucking know.
Okay.
Why are they cucking to Israel?
I can explain.
Please, all three of you. Yeah, go on. Start with you, Gary.
Okay. So it's mainly to do with the fact that people feel guilt over the way that Jews have been historically treated through not only America's past but European past. Because we got to remember that
we're talking Holocaust, yeah.
No, I'm talking pre-Holocaust.
Not just Holocaust. Expulsion of Jews from countries around the world.
Yeah. So I mean, you got to remember, but I mean, we're talking like not that long ago. There were depictions of Jews as being like long-nosed, kind of greedy-looking, like full-blown. Right, that has existed, and people feel guilt over that, and because of that, and the Holocaust was kind of the apex mountain of all that shit, where people's mistrust of Jews became actual violent action. So, because people, and that's the reason that the Jews wanted somewhere to live. They didn't want that to happen again, and I get it. I really do get it.
Because the whole Zionist movement happened during the rampant colonial period of the late 19th century, and having a place to live. It was, so Jews had a place to call their home where they weren't being fucking pogromed all the bloody time like they were, say, in Eastern Europe. It's nothing to do. The creation of Israel has fuck all to do with the Holocaust. It predates that, because 3 years after the World War II ended, they go into fucking Palestine and they absolutely slaughter, murder, rape, kill Muslims and Christians at insane rates to get a land to claim their own home. They did the same brutalities that were done onto them just 3 years after, and it all started before that. By the way, the desolation of Palestine started from the 30s, so this was before Hitler was even a fucking thing, and then it just culminated in the Nakba in the 1940s, and you can hear soldiers talking about it and the brutalities that they did. Now, the reason why people cut to Israel these days, I mean, they'll use the guilt thing as an excuse, but the reality is they've got an ally in the Middle East that's very handy to them, and because there's so much fucking money being banded around, you have all these different lobbying groups that are very powerful lobbying groups. Think of them as religious fundamentalists infiltrating and taking over a lot of things. So if you look at, say, they're not, I don't want to call these lot religious fundamentalists. I'm just giving you the comparison to what it is. So if you look at Labour is the prime example of what happened there. With they're practically now run by Labour Friends of Israel and the Board of Deputies, because they feared Corbyn so much because of his criticisms. All he did was fucking criticize.
He criticized the state of Israel. He wasn't being anti-Semitic.
Everything, yeah, because that's your fucking job as a leader. And they were so scared of that they infiltrated. There was the expose where my own MP, Joan Ryan, was caught on video taking bribes to help derail the 2019 election. And this is basically what's happened now. So now what happens is any criticism of Israel is all these lobbying groups like AIPAC and the Anti-Defamation League in America and all this kind of shit. They just have the money and the power to put pressure on people or to derail their political campaign, or they have hordes and hordes of bot farms, what they call it, to kind of attack people that criticize Israel. So that's the kind of
that to make up the stories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there's one guy, he's a Muslim guy, and he supports Palestine. And then there's a thing on TikTok or social media, or I think it's Twitter, called Arabs for Israel, and he's got his face on it. And you're thinking, what the fuck is my face doing on this propaganda bullshit? I support fucking Palestine.
Exactly. And the thing is, and because of and now this isn't the Jewish conspiracy thing either, like how so if your country basically does not, like, if you see if you look at the map, the whole of the West is pretty much on the side of Israel, except for I think Spain. And the global South is all on the side of an island as well. And the global South is all on the side of just peace and rights for Palestinian people. If your party doesn't back Israel here, they'll do everything to fucking derail you and make you lose the election, or even go as far as to start posing slight economic sanctions on you because you're not taking the right stance that America wants. Like fucking the word coming from within the Labour Party is Keir Starmer is not budging on what he said about Gaza because they're waiting to see what the Americans what their position is. And so this is why it's just a lot of fucking money and power that is just basically there to stifle and crush criticism of Israel.
But the level of cuckery for Israel is so heavy and so deep that we have countries giving away, donating shit to Israel. More so, they do more for Israel than they do for their own fucking country. They do more for the Israeli military and Israeli citizens and the Israeli prime minister more than but they do back at home. And it's incredible. Like, Joe Biden's given like $180 billion aid package to fucking Israel when his own countrymen could be needing that shit. So
that brings me on to the next point. Take Israel out of it. look at exactly what happened with Ukraine as well. When people were trying to bring up the reasons why they ended up in this situation, they were attacked and shot down and censored. Whereas, like, so prime example, The Guardian, great example right there. Right up until the war, there's piles and piles of articles about the Nazi problem in Ukraine and how the country is practically run by fucking Nazis. And talk about the 2014 coup that was led, helped with the aid of the United States and all this kind of shit. As soon as they went to war, it was all just Russia, 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 Ukraine, good guys, innocent. Of course, I'm not defending what Russia did. Fuck Putin and all this kind of stuff. What I mean is the criticism that was levied and the issues within Ukraine and the Azov battalions and the amount of fucking Nazis that they have there, it was all like silence. And if you brought it up, your articles were either taken down or it just buried in social media. It to the point where I can't remember which American TV channel it was, but they were interviewing Ukrainian soldiers where they had, you could clearly see the fucking the Nazi symbols that they had on there. And they were basically, I think there's a clip of one where they're saying, "Oh, please cover up that symbol before we interview you." Like that's the level of insanity where we're at, where opinions just completely shift to fill the narrative of, "Hey, war is profit, baby. So don't you fucking piss with our profits, because we'll crush you."
Last year, we spoke about Mo from AFTV being kicked off AFTV because he wanted to wear his Free Palestine jacket and his Palestinian flag and stuff like that. And obviously, Robbie didn't like it because he's obviously got Israeli businesses backing him, sponsoring him.
El Toro and things like that.
El Toro and stuff like that. At the same time, regarding Ukraine, they've sponsored Ukraine. They've joined charity for Ukraine, and people are totally cool with Ukraine. Football stadiums have flown flags for Ukraine. The London Underground have had flags for the Ukraine. There's one conductor said "Free Palestine" to a bunch of people going to a Palestine protest. He got fired for it. So you can be pro-Ukraine and not get fired, but if you're pro-Palestine, you can get fired. You can have a Palestinian flag in a football match, you can get kicked out. You have a Ukrainian flag, you're totally cool. You know, it's like it's absolutely
whatever
ridiculous.
conforms to the narrative of the establishment, you're fine. If it goes against that, they will bury you. And this is so Israel's the perfect example to use this, and how insanely powerful their lobbies are. Okay, to the point where they don't even have to do anything. That the knee-jerk reaction by a lot of people is to bury anyone that criticizes Israel. What's that? What about what Pakistan is doing to the Afghans? I don't know. What are the Pakistanis doing to the Afghans? Slaughtering them?
And I mean, they're still having to deal with Western countries still on their land. The Afghans, like the Americans, the Brits, and God knows who else. Obviously, with that particular takeover, because they had the 9/11 attacks, which basically justified invading another country and taking over their land. I say that
from Afghanistan.
Yeah, I say that sarcastically. They're not completely withdrawn. There's still people there. They haven't 100% withdrawn. They've left like a skeleton squad of people. But regarding Pakistan and Afghanistan, it's different to Israel and Palestine, because we're not talking about occupation here. You know, we're not talking about one country keep treating another country as if it was going through apartheid. It's chalk and cheese. One country hasn't got like the backing of billions, endless billions from the most powerfulest nation in the world to kill off their citizens. It's so chalk and cheese.
Well, a couple of things as well with regard to Israel, which haven't been brought up yet. One is the fact that America, and there's a lot of support for Israel in America because there is a belief by the religious right that once all the Jews are in Israel, that is when the rapture will take place. That's when Christ will return to earth. So they have a vested interest with regard to that when it comes to Israel. We, unfortunately, do tend to follow America when it comes to foreign policy. So we do wind up supporting Israel in a lot of regards, whether it's right or wrong.
We're America's bitch, man.
Everyone's America's bitch on the West.
No doubt, but we are beyond their bitch, dude. Like every war they have, every conflict, we are right there, like their fucking lapdog with our heads right up their asses.
Not entirely. I mean, again, we weren't involved in Vietnam, for example. So
I'm talking more recently.
Yeah, but more recently, yeah, probably.
We were, but not at the same level that the Americans were. We had a lot of SAS troops dicking about in there as well. But I get what you mean. But more recently, especially since like 9/11, fucking
since the first Gulf War, dude. You know what I mean? Like since patriotism and Reagan, you know, like
one of the other major problems though when it comes to Israel is the fact that unfortunately we wind up with this narrative of if you don't support, if you dare condemn what the Israeli state has been doing, it's then thrown back as, well, you don't support Israel's right to exist, do you? Or Israel does not have the right to defend itself?
Yeah, the two things. You don't believe they should exist? No, I don't believe they should exist. But they're here now, so I wouldn't want them getting slaughtered and displaced like they've done to the Palestinians. It's more like, just fucking free the Palestinian people, give them equal rights, and go from there and mend the fucking the 80 years of torture and brutality. But
again, another major part of the foreign policy, which unfortunately is why so much credence is given to Israel, is that this idea that we're defending the only democracy in that part of the world against a bunch of backwards Arabic savages.
Yeah,
but a bunch of countries that are run by dictatorships.
Yeah, who put those dictatorships there?
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
again, that this is large part of what plays into the perception of, of why our governments wind up supporting the Israeli state. As you mentioned, Keir Starmer has refused to call for a ceasefire, and he only recently called for a pause, a humanitarian
pause. Even Bernie Sanders, that was the best he could do. The fucking cuck.
But again, Starmer only called for that because he was waiting for the Americans to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas anybody who's called for a ceasefire is apparently in line to be disciplined for breaching collective responsibility on the Labour front benches.
Yeah.
Did you see that TikTok video shared there of this guy who had the police come around to his house because he had the Palestinian flag hanging out of his window?
I didn't see that, no, but I've seen things like, for example, the Green Brigade, for example, a group of Celtic fans, they've been banned from Celtic Park.
Yeah,
and there's a conflict between the board of directors at Celtic and actually the supporters groups on that ban. The supporters groups have come out actually in support of the Green Brigade. There's a lot of stuff going on now, which again is absolutely fucking ludicrous. There's people who have been arrested, as you say, for or fired.
This guy wasn't fired. He wasn't arrested, but basically the police came over and said that apparently his flag is making people feel uncomfortable. But he's not. Well, he had to constantly mention to the officer that he's doing nothing wrong. I mean, he can't help. If people feel uncomfortable, it's their fucking problem.
Yeah, it's their fucking problem.
Exactly,
it's their fucking problem.
What about? Like, I'm pretty sure if a Palestinian saw an Israeli flag flying near their house, they'd find that more fucking traumatic than the stupid victim complex that all these fucking idiots have. That, we're always the victim and all this kind of shit. But even then, I'd be like, so what? It's their right to fly an Israeli flag if they want to.
It's so crazy that, Oleg Zinchenko, the Arsenal footballer who's Ukrainian, supports fucking Israel. The irony is just so fucking lost on this guy. It's unbelievable. His country's being fucking oppressed and he's supporting an oppressing regime. I just don't fucking get it. And I wonder how him and El Neni's going to fucking get on, because El Neni's actually mentioned on a couple of occasions his support for Palestine. And that that at the time was like was a bit of a news story. This was before, obviously, this most recent conflict. But it was a bit of a news story for some reason. Whilst it wasn't a news story,
it was the raid at the Al Aqsa Mosque, and I think like a couple of hundred Palestinians got fucking murdered during Ramadan or something like that.
I think it was that Ramadan, that Ramadan.
And nothing to do with Hamas. Fuck all to do with Hamas. It was just a bunch of Palestinians getting brutalized by Israelis, and El Neni came out in support. And Lavazza, who are owned by they're like Israeli. They're actually an Israeli coffee company, or their major shareholders are Israeli. They filed a complaint and they put pressure on Arsenal to discipline El Neni. And I actually praised the Cronkies at the time because they said, no, the guy has a right to protest how he wants to. We'll have a quiet word, but we will not discipline them. Nothing will happen to them. And if you don't like it, leave. Don't sponsor us.
With regard to protest, by the way, something that's been brought up fairly recently is, well, why does the Western world not say anything about what's going on in places like Bahrain, for example? And why are they focused solely on protesting against Israel and what they're doing and calling for a ceasefire? Well, it's not virtue signaling when you're calling for a ceasefire. The reason that there are protests in this country and in the United States and even across Europe about what Israel is doing to Gaza is because our governments are involved in sponsoring that.
Exactly.
They are involved in condoning genocide against the Palestinian people. They sponsor Israel to the tune of billions of dollars where they can buy all this weaponry to bomb and kill Palestinians. And again, if anything, it would be more akin to, say, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when there were regular protests in this country against South Africa for the apartheid.
Yeah.
Again, those were days when people objected to what our government was doing because our government in the UK was involved in condoning what South Africa did. Margaret Thatcher was calling, for example, she was calling Nelson Mandela a terrorist.
Yeah.
There were the elements within the Conservative Party there were elements within the Conservative Party who wanted Nelson Mandela executed.
Yep.
Whereas again, people who were genuinely on the left were, Jeremy Corbyn is a perfect example. He would regularly protest outside the South African embassy, and he was arrested for that.
And he was arrested for it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because a couple of a big thing that happened in the region, but a sort of like a small thing that happened on television. The big thing that happened on the region was that the strip between the two, between Israel and Egypt, got opened again.
Gaza Strip.
Yeah. Not the Gaza Strip, but I think it's like the roadway.
The crossing that they've got, the border crossing that they've got.
The
Gaza Strip.
So basically, they reopened that so a lot of civilians could get across. Now the thing is, people have been complaining that they could have opened that to let civilians through anyway, and there was no reason to close it the first time, which they're right about. But the other one was that we got Piers Morgan versus Bassem Youssef too, which was interesting.
Well, hang on. Just on the issue of the border, the reason Egypt didn't want to open that part of the border because, well, one, they've limited it. So the people who are crossing the border into Egypt are either the wounded or they are people who have got nationality elsewhere. So people who have got American citizenship or British citizenship, for example, they're able to cross the border. Egypt obviously does not want to completely throw open the border to allow 2 million people into their country.
Yeah, because they can't return either. They won't be allowed to return. Palestinians do not have a right to return. Israelis do, but a Palestinian can never return back home once they leave the country. So they're effectively fucked. And there was also like Israel and the United States were trying to say, hey, look, Egypt, if you let in all the people from the Gaza Strip and let them take home in the Sinai Desert, then we'll write off your debt. And Egypt was like, fuck off. We're not doing that. So now again, Palestinians are fucked because there's only a limited amount allowed into Egypt, convoys and hospitals are being bombed. They can't get into Israel. They're not allowed to into Israel to get some kind of relief. So yeah, it's the
Israel's even
situation
been
is
bombing refugee camps.
yeah, bombing refugee camps, and I think the bombing of the refugee camps and the atrocities in the West Bank broke the camel's back for a lot of people. And there was a press conference where even and the speaker for somebody from America condemned the actions of the Israeli government from Washington, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! Somebody's finally like the pressure must be starting to work, because eventually the best thing you could do is just make it too toxic for politicians to support Israel and just fucking get them voted out, even if it means, switching sides or whatever. Because that's the first time I've ever heard anyone from Washington come out and condemn the attack on the refugee camp and the slaughtering in the West Bank that's going on, and to actually call it like settlers going into Palestinians' homes and throwing it out. They actually fucking said it in the press conference, and I was actually taken aback by that.
The northern part of the Gaza Strip has been reduced to rubble.
Yeah. I mean, now they're going to plant US troops in there, and that basically Israel's going to take that land. Now, that's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, some of Netanyahu's generals have spoken openly about and even some of the members of his cabinet have spoken openly about the intent, which is to annex the northern part of the Gaza Strip, if not all of it. I mean, there is a belief amongst the far right. Netanyahu's government is far right, and again, their belief is that land is entirely theirs.
Yeah.
Some of them again have been open about the fact that they think every Palestinian should be wiped out.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that narrative has even reached places like this country. Politics Joe, for example, had on somebody from the Jewish Chronicle, and he openly fucking defended the bombing of the refugee camps, saying, well, that could probably be justified because Hamas have got tunnels underneath them.
Which isn't true, apparently.
And there was pretty much no pushback at all from any of the three that were on Politics Joe.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Politics Joe anyway. I'm not a fan of theirs.
I don't me neither.
Yeah. Their heart's in the right place, but their execution is abysmal anyway. They're just not watchable.
Yeah, I mean,
I've tried, but they're just not watchable.
I've given up. Between that and the body language expert who examined Dominic Cummings, the COVID inquiry, I've given up.
I couldn't believe that when you said that. Fucking yeah, no, I've tried, but I can't. I don't like them. I don't hate them. A couple
of things.
Yeah.
She totally been observing me. My head been bopping more than a Funko Pop. That's fantastic. Yeah. But
I've read the previous comments, and please do not highlight them.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Chill. All right. I want you guys to have a quick look at this, because as I was flicking through my my TikTok the other day, this woman came up, spoke about this. I just want you guys' opinions. It's only 2 minutes long. Let's go.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah, I've heard about this.
This is the Suez Canal. This is owned by Egypt. The Suez Canal makes about $9 billion a year. And where does that $9 billion go to? It goes to Egypt. Egypt nationalized the canal, so it makes all the profit. So who's not collecting on this are the Americans, the British, and the French, and the Israelis. They want to change that. Enter the Ben Gurion Canal Project over here. This is what's happening right now in the Middle East. What we're seeing on TV is all a ploy. It's all about granting access for this canal. The American and Israeli government plan on nuking this land over here to build a canal. They're going to use this land because that land is built out of a rocky terrain, whereas the Suez Canal is built on more of a sandy terrain. By digging through a rockier ground, they would have more likelihood to have a wider canal, allowing two ships to pass each other at the same time, as opposed to one ship, which is presently happening in the Suez Canal. And where do you think that canal empties? Not just in the Mediterranean Sea. The Ben Gurion Canal would empty right in northern Gaza. The Ben Gurion Canal would empty into the Mediterranean at the northern point of Gaza. Northern Gaza. So all we're seeing here, ethnic cleansing, genocide, forcing all of the Palestinians into the south of Gaza. It's all to build this canal.
All right, what do you guys think of that?
It's a conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just an outright conspiracy theory. Now, there was a piece. I have seen that map before. There was a piece written. It was in Business Insider. This was a plan. Supposedly, it was in the 1960s to nuke the land.
Yeah.
So it was a memorandum in 1963 to create an alternative Suez Canal. But no, there has so the US considered a proposal to use 520 nuclear bombs to carve out an alternative Suez Canal through Israel in the 1960s. So it was going to go through the Negev Desert and go into expand the Dead Sea Canal. But this is a conspiracy theory, this idea that this is Israel's plan now.
Yeah, no. The plan is, look, the plan is very clear. If you've been following the last couple of years, it's just simply to wipe the Palestinians off the fucking map, completely take over Israel, and then from there move into parts of Lebanon, Jordan.
No, but my point was regarding the cucking of Israel. I mean, was one of the reasons this lady. I know you. Fair enough. I'm totally on board on that too. But one of the reasons why we cut for Israel is like reasons like this.
No, just cut for Israel because they have a powerful lobby. So canal or no canal, resources or no resources, it's just they have a powerful lobby that can really derail a politician's career, and then you infiltrate other areas where you put pressure to silence criticism.
And again, the belief that this is a democracy in an area where there is none.
Yeah.
Which, again...
I mean, there's no such thing as democracy anywhere, really.
It's a democracy, but it's a very violent, expansionist democracy.
Yeah. Democracy for Jews and not for anyone else. Because even Christians are getting fucking attacked in Israel now. You know, they've bombed Orthodox churches, the oldest Orthodox church in the world, and they bombed that. They're attacking Christians in the north and all this. They don't give a fuck. They just want a Jewish supremacist state.
Man, they're attacking. They're killing Jews as well. And the funny thing is,
the ones that criticize them.
Well, no, but sometimes they could just be in the line of fire because of where everything is situated. But the point I'm trying to get to, God, I'm losing my train of thought now. It's going.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
And it's gone.
And come back to it. Just interrupt us as soon as it comes back. Just literally go, bah! And we'll stop. Because I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
And now I've forgotten what I was going to fucking say.
But when Gary mentioned Bassem Youssef and Piers Morgan having a conversation 101, again, I was rather disappointed in it for the simple reason that Piers seemed to, again, more at the end, deflect on the idea that, well, no, Israel still has the right to defend itself. And like, as if their actions, what they've done so far, is in any way proportionate to what was carried out on October the 7th.
Yeah. I mean, Piers has to...
I got it. My point is that, you know, we have news and media and politicians talking about how Israel didn't bomb that hospital or they didn't bomb that particular church. It was Hamas, it was deflected rockets and stuff like that. But yet the level of devastation that's happened in Gaza, you know, they have bombed the fuck out of that place. Even if you want to say they didn't bomb that hospital, even if you want to say they didn't bomb that church, they fucking bombed everywhere.
Yeah, they've bombed 3 other hospitals since the hospital they didn't bomb.
And the hospital that they reportedly bombed, they have bombed it several times in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And the level of destruction happening in Gaza, the Palestinian rockets don't do that kind of level of destruction. When I was in Israel in 2014 and the rockets were flying, they were showing on the news the devastation that they were doing. They're just fucking a couple of dents in a wall,
Glorified
like
hand
flying out
grenades.
chunk of a wall. They don't have the capacity to level buildings. You know, they don't have that kind of capacity. So, if anyone perpetrating that narrative is just thinks everyone else is fucking stupid enough to believe it. But you know, the good thing is as well is that people are just not going to let anyone forget about this now. This is like people have just said this is you're actively participating in genocide. There's blood on your hands, and look, I say look at everyone that voted for the continuation of the war, and just fucking damage them at the polls. You know, the next election. Just remember who, and we have a large Muslim community here in the UK, and if I was every fucking Muslim that isn't is cucked like the politicians, I'll take that anger to the polls and vote out whoever the fuck is taking a pro-genocidal state stance.
You know, I think we've spent far too much time having serious discussion with regard to what's going on with Israel, when realistically we could just do what XQC did and just react to the actual bombing footage.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, I mean, he got called out by Kotaku over this. I mean, XQC posted a 2-minute video of him fucking.
Didn't they actually call him a fuck pig in the article?
No, that was Dominic Cummings. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. I've got it. I've got the article in front of me. Scumfuck is what they called him.
Scumfuck. That was it. Scumfuck.
Yeah, internet drags Scumfuck XQC for Gaza reaction video. So, there was a video of him reacting to an Israeli airstrike. And it was the usual XQC reaction. He added no content to it. It was just him making faces. All that kind of horseshit.
I thought that sort of content was banned because it's depicting people dying and stuff like that.
Was he doing it on Twitch or Kick?
It was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube.
I thought YouTube.
It was on his chat. It was on his little short channel XQC Clips. Yeah. So he he streams on Twitch and Kick, and this is where he did it. But the video also made its way to YouTube on his channel XQC Clips. Somebody put it quite succinctly. He said, "When I think about what that scumfuck degenerate content parasites look like, when I think about what scumfuck degenerate content parasites look like, I don't think I could possibly create parody more on the nose than this." Yeah. Now, XQC responded to this, and he was basically saying, "Well, who cares? I'm rich."
Yeah, and look, people keep fucking propping these idiots up, and XQC, like everyone defends him. I'm like, what is there to defend? The guy is he's a sociopath. He's a complete piece of shit. He might not be a narcissist, but he is a sociopath. He doesn't care as long as he's making fucking money and getting them clicks. And he's so fucking thick, beyond thick. He does my head in.
Him and Sniper Wolf, they are the two textbook examples of content thieves. XQC did a reaction video to the Meat Canyon cartoon that was done about him. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. But no. Meat Canyon did a cartoon where XQC was a demon hoarding treasure, and he it's quite funny. If you get a chance, I would suggest you watch it. XQC did a reaction video where he didn't really do much in the way of reacting, and again, Meat Canyon even went so far as to make fun of the fact that XQC pretends not to hear anybody because he's got money in his ears. so his response is always, look, I'm loaded. But here's the thing, right? XQC really should at least get a fucking strike from YouTube for that reaction video.
I can't stand that guy, by the way.
The bombing of Israel, because the Quartering got a strike. He actually got a fucking channel strike for once.
Yeah. What is it? Because XQC makes more money for them? Is that why they let it slide?
Quite possibly. Because, Sniper Wolf, for example, every time somebody makes a copyright complaint against Sniper Wolf, she mysteriously gets to delete the infringing clip from her video. So but in her video it's to stay up, whereas other channels get they get an automatic strike.
Yeah, I guarantee you, her representative is also probably fucking paying for her OnlyFans if she's getting away with things like that. Because everyone there are certain channels.
I don't know if she's got an OnlyFans or not, anything like that, but I know she's in some legal issue because her ex-husband's suing her.
Yes,
for ownership of the channel.
Yeah.
But no, the Quartering got a video. Was called CNN busted faking attack in Israel for the cameras. This is insane and appalling. So that video was taken down. Yeah, he got a channel strike. Yeah, which is a shame. I thoroughly discourage everyone from going to Quartering's channel and looking through the rest of his video catalog and finding other things that may be worth flagging. I really discourage that. I mean, definitely do not go looking for the video where he does a paid advert read for fucking neo-Nazis. Do not go and flag that one.
What the fuck?
Okay.
I don't think it matters even if they do flag it. I don't think YouTube won't take that. They'll take it down if it's got CNN footage because sometimes you can get that flagged.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't a copyright. It wasn't a copyright strike though. So
what was it? A flag.
Well, hang on. I'm just bringing up the original link. It was a community guidelines violation.
Oh.
So
what community guideline did he violate?
I've no idea. It just said, but when you click on the link, because the subreddit r/the Quartering is a Nazi, they've got the original link to it, and when you click it, it says this video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines.
Yeah, it was a video of as Fred was describing of the bombing because I think death is one of the few things that YouTube claps down off because it doesn't like showing them. I think some other person, I can't remember who it was, depicted somebody getting their head chopped off.
I remember that back in the day. Fact versus Religion did that.
Oh yeah, that was different. That was back in the day.
She showed a beheading on a YouTube video, and she wondered why she got a fucking strike for that.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you what.
I'm going. By the way, I'm done. I'm falling asleep. I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, mate. Have a good one. Take care, mate. Bye.
Bye.
The worst one I've seen, and I think this one was on Reddit, but it will probably be on Twitter as well. So obviously the story of the beheading of the 40 babies, which was a complete load of bullshit and all this kind of shit, and then the week after, because it was only just about last Saturday or Friday when I saw this clip. Guy, back of an ambulance, there is a body of a baby, no head, no right arm. And it's saying, this is what Israel's doing. You believe the lies of the 40 babies and all this kind of shit, but Israel is actually killing babies. And he's just showing this baby up on the camera with no fucking head. No, it was just brutal. But and the thing is, in any other situation, I would be having nightmares about it. But it's so desensitized to the brutality perpetrated by, well, pick a fucking country and all this kind of shit. That although it was shocking, it didn't leave like it. You know what I mean. You're not having nightmares about it, but it's just like just indiscriminately killing. And the thing is, like they talk about, we've got to get the hostages. They have killed about 50 of their own people that are being held hostage by bombing Gaza. They don't give a fuck. They've even said to the fact they don't give a fuck about the hostages. They're just going in there and they're just doing what they're going to do.
Yeah, because people in my family were posting that. I was debating with them about it because I said that I'm very pro-Palestine, and they were going, "So you support people who cut off babies' heads?" They didn't cut off people's babies' heads. I was reporting in numerous news sources. Those sources are wrong. Oh, you
they
just
have
don't
no evidence either.
I know, and I said that to them, and they were going, and the fact that it said, "Well, Joe Biden talked about it," and I went, "Joe Biden was one. He had to walk that back." And again, it didn't matter how many times I pointed out to them they were wrong about it. It's like I might as well be talking to a wall. I'm like, it's like, oh, so you're pro Hamas? No, I'm not pro Hamas either. I said, Hamas have done really evil things, and most of it has been against their own citizens. So, you can cut that out right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, as well, it doesn't help when the old Benjamin Netanyahu is actually helping fucking Hamas as well, and propped them up and praises them and calls them a useful tool, because he'd rather have that than a genuine Palestinian government fighting for their rights. Because at least with Hamas, we can always use them as an excuse to kill more Palestinians. So yeah. Anyway, should we move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Let me see. I won't cover all your topics, thingy, because it's getting a bit late. But we could talk about Space Karen and the word cis. William?
Yes.
Yeah.
Elon Musk made a prat of himself yet again. Seems to be a hourly occurrence for him. But he put out a tweet claiming that the word cis is a heterosexual slur. Let me get his exact words. The word cis is a heterosexual slur. Shame on anyone who uses it. Now, this was retweeted, but the time I took a screenshot, 50,000 times, 285,000 likes.
Oh, God.
Now, for just in case anyone is not aware, cis is short for cisgender, and what it means is that that your gender identity is the same sex that you were assigned with at birth. So, my pronouns would be he, him. I consider myself a male. I was assigned male at birth on my birth certificate, so I would be cisgender. So, yeah, well, the term. The term really applies to anybody in that regard. So that would be straight people, gay people, bisexual people, asexual people, pansexual people, etc. I mean,
yeah. I
can get to a degree why he was fucking stupid enough to think that cis is somehow a slur, because some people think it's similar to how they throw around trans or tranny or tranny, things like that.
Yeah, or tranny. Yeah,
but I mean, as I say, but cis is literally from a geographical statement. It literally means the same side. That's all it means.
Yeah. Again, as I've explained, that's exactly what it means. But I mean, to me, this is just proof that he's living proof that billionaires are not where they are just because they're smarter than everybody else. I mean, he's dumb as a bag of rocks.
Either nepotism or they're ruthless.
You put Elon Musk on a desert island with nothing but a hunting knife, and I guarantee you he's dead in 3 days.
Yeah.
But Twitter, by the way, is now officially worth less than half of what he paid for it. Now, figures have been thrown around all the time. Because obviously he paid $44 billion for it. What's it worth now? Is it worth $12 billion? Is it worth $8 billion, etc.? Supposedly, it's now been valued officially at $19 billion.
That's $19 billion too much.
Well, yeah, and the reason it's been valued at $19 billion is that they're trying a stock options system with employees. Employees are apparently able to now buy stock in the company at $45 a share.
They're just going to get fucking conned out of $45 a share then.
Yeah,
because that's not a good ROI.
It's definitely not a good investment, because Twitter's price is probably going to tank even further as Musk's ownership goes on. But yeah, $19 billion, and the fact that again. I opened a Twitter account fairly recently called YouTube Ad Fails, because I figured if YouTube is going to put ads in my feed nonstop because they stop people from using ad blockers, I would document like the worst that would come up. So, and again, I think some companies might be curious as to where their adverts are being placed on the website. So, for example, that video I mentioned where the Quartering does an ad read for a neo-Nazi book publishing company. They stuck adverts in front of that for Game and Wix, and I contacted both of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, good that you contacted them. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I sent them a tweet.
Yeah.
YouTube replied to me twice, by the way, on that account. One was I put in a request just asking, look, can you? Is there an option where I can just block an advertiser outright rather than just individual adverts? Because I've had again at least 15 adverts for the con man Greg Sicker, who keeps putting out like 3-4 minute infomercials in front of videos where he tries to get you to take one of his training courses to learn how to do day trading in the foreign currency exchange.
Yeah, the fake guru courses and the training courses.
Exactly. But they told me no. It's good. The only people that are able to block it are people who are on the preferred partner program. They're able to put in requests like what would not appear before their videos. Other companies as well. I mean, Paul Joseph Watson, for example, he's gone full mask off on Twitter. I found this out because I only follow one account on Twitter, which is the Scottish Green Party, because Twitter makes you follow one account whenever you set up an account yourself. So I just picked the Scottish Green Party because, I figure it's not really all that offensive, etc. And the For You section was flooded with things, with racism. So I got tweets from David. Yeah. I got tweets from David Vance, for example, who's previously been banned from the platform. I got one from Paul Joseph Watson in that feed. And Paul Joseph Watson's tweet, if I can bring it up, just read it, because I want to make sure I get this right. Let's see. Paul Joseph Watson, where is that asshole? Here we go. He put up this tweet. This was on the 28th of October. It said, retweet if you don't care about Israel or Palestine and only care about white British people.
Oh, Jesus.
So he's gone full mask off.
Full mask off. There you go. No pretense now, because he has no career anywhere.
It's also not surprising, given that Byline Times had audio of him using racial and homophobic slurs and also saying that he would like to press a button to wipe Jews off the face of the earth.
Of course.
There's another company he did an ad read for in one of his videos. It's a skincare product for men. And the company was Tieg Hanley.
Ooh, so, I know who they are.
Yeah.
No idea who it is.
So basically, imagine the most Aryan flaming, Hitler loving flaming super race idiots, and that's who they are.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but So I just asked Tieg Hanley if they would like to clarify if their products are only for white people. I've never got a response to that one, but I presume they are. I mean, I know companies have done business with Paul Joseph Watson in the past, but have also dumped him fairly quickly when they found out what kind of a piece of shit he was. I mean, Atlas VPN was one of them. As soon as they found out, as soon as people contacted them and said, look, this guy said he wants Jews wiped off the face of the earth, Atlas dropped him.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so people like Atlas that have the middle person that kind of contacts these kind of channels for ads.
Yeah.
So they say, hey, look, we're a company. We have, say, Atlas VPN, NordVPN, and Harry's or whatever under our umbrella. We want to do some sponsored stuff, blah, blah, blah. So obviously, if you contact the company directly to let them know who the fuck is advertising their product, then hopefully they take the right action, just like they did with Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah, but Tieg Hanley obviously aren't interested. I'm guessing they know what his content is like. They've done business with him. But
they support it.
But with regard to Twitter, just getting back to them, the share price I think is going to continue to fall. $19 billion is still way too much for the company.
It's too much.
And
it's too much.
I think that price is going to continue to plummet, especially when Musk brings in the paid subscription service.
Yeah. I'm telling you now, next year that he's going to sell that company. He's going to try and get 10 billion for it and cut his losses, or he's just going to. It's just unsustainable. Unless he just keeps it purely for his ego.
I'll make a prediction that he's probably going to hold on to it. I think you might be looking at another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but then he'll be worth like $1 billion if he's lucky.
Yeah.
Well, again, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, what was it? Tumblr at one point was worth about $1 billion, and then it was sold for something like 175 million.
Yeah, after they banned porn on there, nobody fucking went on the website anymore.
Yeah, Blogspot was another one.
Yeah, Blogspot as well.
So
yeah, and Twitter just ended up being fucking owned by Microsoft or some shit like that. They'd be like, haha, we finally have social media.
I'd find it funny if it was Jeff Bezos who bought it.
Oh, that would be fucking, oh my God, don't. From one billionaire cunt to another. That's just, oh, shudder the thought. But yeah, there you go. Space Karen being a fucking twat.
Just another quick story, just quickly with regard to Twitter. Obviously, the former Pittsburgh Penguins player Adam Johnson, unfortunately, died on an ice rink in the UK after a freak accident where.
Was that an NHL match, or is he actually?
No, it was like British one.
It was British ice hockey, English ice hockey in particular. He was playing for Sheffield.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I think so. Yeah, but during a match, there was a freak accident. An opposition player, his skate wound up going into Adam Johnson's throat.
Cut the artery.
Cut his throat, unfortunately, and. The response. English ice hockey has mandated that you must wear neck protection from now on.
Okay.
So neck guards are now mandated. The NHL looks like it's going in the same direction. A lot of teams have and players have even just voluntarily started wearing them. Some not in games, some in practice at least. But it's a start.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
However, there was a very, very tasteless tweet, which is still up, from one particular NHL team. And it was the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, so Florida. So white supremacy state. So, yeah. Are they in Florida still? I don't know.
California. Anaheim's California.
I know, but...
Yeah, Anaheim,
California.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Anaheim, California. But the Anaheim Ducks, if I can find it, let's see.
You might take it down.
Yeah.
Because I do know.
No, it's still up. It was November 2nd, they posted it. So this was 6 days after Adam Johnson's accident. They put up a clip of a player called Radko Gudas, who's, a fucking goon. He's the definition of it. And he was giving a hip check to Clayton Keller.
Yeah.
Now the clip, the guy's left skate just goes over Clayton Keller's helmet, and then his right skate on the fall comes very, very close to clipping him in the side of the head.
Right.
And Anaheim put this up with the caption, "Beware the butcher." After a player got his neck sliced open.
Fucking idiots. Any repercussions from that? No.
No. There's been a full credit though. There's been a lot of blowback on Twitter over this. Hockey fans from teams all over the NHL and even around the world have called this tasteless and said you should fucking check what's going on before you posted this. Delete it. So yeah, this is
that's a society. Twitter is just fucking
whoever's running their social media account really needs to be fired.
Yeah, I agree.
Read the fucking room.
Yeah, that's just there's no excuse for that kind of shit. Terrible. And the poor fucking hockey player, man. How old was he? Was he 32 or something? Young?
Something like that. I can't remember. I don't know exactly how old he was off the top of my head, but he wasn't all that old. mean, he's still playing professional ice hockey, for fuck's sake. He can't be that old.
No, that's it.
But and again, at the same time, I mean, I'm glad that English hockey, dead take. They said immediately, okay, net guards are compulsory now.
Yeah,
and
straight away.
The NHL looks like it's going to be going down the same route. It was a freak accident. I mean,
it happens.
The police are investigating it, but I think they've even said, look, this is we're investigating this as a freak accident.
Yeah,
we're just trying to determine how it happened.
The cricket player died when he got the ball smashed into his face. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, there was that match. There was that match in Mexico where Rey Mysterio was in, where there was Paraguayo Jr.
Yeah.
He died after his neck snapped into the middle rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, but Mysterio actually killed him. Let's be honest. It was a mafia hit job.
Yeah.
But just freak accident, fucking terrible. So, but at least precautions have been taken now. It's the same with the whole CTE thing with WWE after all the fucking. I think it was after the Benoit stuff where they just.
It was after Benoit that they started doing the CTE stuff because it was only really after Chris Benoit that CTE really started to be discussed in the mainstream when it came to pro wrestling.
It was mainly the NFL that kind of brought it to mainstream because I think that was 2008.
No, I'm talking about in pro wrestling. I mean, it hadn't been discussed properly in pro wrestling until what happened with Benoit.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I mean, there'd been people mentioning things like Mike Awesome, for example. Mike Awesome, had hung himself, but again, there had not been a lot of discussion. It was only after what happened with Chris Benoit that really.
And it's because of the tragedy of what happened, because he murdered his family.
The tragedy of what happened, and also the fact that when they examined his brain, they found it was similar to that of an 87-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I think Chris Nowinski has been doing good work with this sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, Chris Nowinski has been the guy who has really spearheaded the whole thing with CTE.
That's great. I mean, even now in football as well, because the footballers are heading the ball so much, and you see how many, Bobby Charlton, prime example, dementia. How many footballers of a certain generation have been getting dementia.
Oh yeah, because remember how heavy the footballs were back then.
It's like headbutting a fucking medicine ball, as they call them. The ones that you did all the exercises is like that kind of thing. So even now they might limit. I say if you're going up for a header, they should be allowed to put their hand there as long as it's touching their head to at least act as a kind of barrier,
as a buffer.
Yeah, as a buffer to kind of just they should be allowed to do that because it's added protection. Because not everyone's going to start wearing fucking helmets now just to head a ball. But
it was very rare that you even saw any kind of protective headgear in football. I mean, Petr Cech had to get approval for his one.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, he had his fucking brain hanging out practically. And he had to get approval for his one. But I know now in schools and my friend who trains, he's a manager for his kids team and all this kind of shit. They don't head the ball anymore.
Yeah, they just ban it.
They just banned it. They're not allowed to head the ball. Obviously you can't completely ban it from the sport, but you should be allowed to raise your arm to your head to at least have a buffer. If they do work with a game of banning it or reducing it, that's fine as well. Again, I'm always happy. When I know people were complaining when wrestling stopped doing chair shots to the head and all this kind of shit. I was like, are you fucking mental? How can you? I hated it when they were doing it back in the day before I knew the CT because I was like, that's just gonna fuck somebody's brain.
Yeah, I mean, the worst one I ever saw was when Mick Foley took about 9 of them from Royal Rumble 99. Yeah, that was too far in my personal opinion.
Yeah, that was too far, and so I was always happy. I don't care if it looks silly where they have to bend over, take to the back. I don't care.
Yeah, and Mick only I think agreed to take about 3 or 4.
Yeah, that was just
because he was pissed. He was pissed at The Rock afterwards, not just for the fact that Rock had hit him so many times, but also the fact that Rock then come up to check on him afterwards.
Yeah. Wasn't that all in the Beyond the Mat
Yes.
thing? Or
Yes.
I remember in the documentary there was.
He wrote about it in his book too.
Yeah, and he wrote about it in his book. Was it the Have a Nice Day book? I think it was called.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
That would have been.
Yeah, it was a good book, that. So, yeah, cool. All right, then, guys. Just gonna, I think we'll end it there. It's getting on a bit. But before we do, I just want to announce, if anyone's interested, obviously, I'm a big fan of top 10s. So at the end of the year, or if nobody's doing anything New Year's Eve and wants to do a stream, whatever, just basically start compiling a list of their favorite TV shows, films, games, songs, whatever you want, whatever your area of major interest is, and you want to put a top list together. It doesn't have to be 10, as many as you want, and just have that ready for towards the end of the year, either towards the end of December or New Year's Eve or whatever, and we could just do a little live stream talking about things that we enjoyed there, and then the following week we could do the worst of, if you guys want. So
I mean, is this wise? I mean, doing a top 10 list of TV shows, because you know Gary's going to pick Love Island.
Well, if that's what his favorite is, you've got Big Brother, he's got Love Island, I've got the Great British Wank Off. So, oh wait, that's a different channel altogether. But if that's what people want, that's what people get. If whatever your favorites are for the year.
Top 10 Sam Naps on stream.
Yeah, top 10 Sam Naps on stream. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Cheeto. Exactly. So, yeah, just thought I'd.
By the way, I meant to ask,
make sure it doesn't clash with the golden glasses or anything like that, obviously.
Did we do a trailer reaction to Echo?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did one earlier.
That was literally the first thing we did.
Okay. How did it look?
Well, I saw it already, but it looks very interesting. It's nice to see that it's actually going to be rated mature as well. It's the first show that's going to be rated mature. So
I like that. I like Vincent D'Onofrio's back as the Kingpin.
Yeah, as long as we don't get the Hawkeye Kingpin, I'll be happy. As long as we get Daredevil Kingpin, I'll be happy with that. And on that note, guys, I bid you all adieu. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. If anyone wants to join for Crown Jewel, they'll be broadcasting that. So see you later. Good.